Okay. There we go. It's been way too long. Hello, everyone. It's a fair programming error that just refuses to be fixed. CodeErr. And after who knows how long it's been, actually not too long because we did a short DDLC mod a while back, but for the first time in a while we're actually doing a proper, stuff. By had in time with or without DLCs? Oh, right, Spinne, yeah, right. Had in time. I bought it without the DLCs for now. If I really, really enjoy it, I can get the DLCs afterwards. There's always a chance to buy them later, but I decided to just buy the game as is for now. To answer that question real quick. Also, to quickly catch anyone up to speed, Doki Doki Club Meetings is a mod, or well, rather series of mods I have played on this channel before, and I have greatly enjoyed. There have been 2 seasons so far that I've played, and the 3rd season has been out for a bit, but they only recently released the full Season 3 collection, where all the Season 3 stuff is nicely put together into one mod with bonus content on top of it. So, yeah. With that being said, it's been way too long, way too much time spent waiting, and today we can finally go ahead and actually get started on it. So let's do that. So, of course, gotta read that stuff first. What do we have here? The obvious warnings out of the way. Doki Doki Club Meetings is a Doki Doki Literature Club fan mod that is not affiliated in any way with Team Salvado. It is designed to be played only after the official game has been completed and contains spoilers for the official game. I would also say the next line should be, it is also supposed to be played after Seasons 1 and 2. Game files for Doki Doki Literature Club are required to play this mod and can be downloaded for free at ddlc.moe or on Steam. Please consult the readme.txt contained in the mod download for more information. By playing DDCM Season 3 Collection, you agree that you have completed Doki Doki Literature Club and accept any spoilers contained within. Not gonna talk about how it's also probably gonna be spoiling the previous seasons? Nah, no need for that kind of spoiler warning, right? But I agree. It's been a while. It really has been a while since the... We'll always be here for you, that they will be, huh? There it is, Season 3 Collection, and Monica's butt is still covering the text. Pretty sure it did that in the previous season as well. Yup. Perfect. And Rob is here. Hello, you're just in time. We just arrived on the title screen. Are we all ready? For a brand new game. Tex is glad to be alive. Yes, it is glad to be alive. New game. I'm still Code. Black screen. Okay, how does Season 3 start? With Monica, of course. Right, because we first have to navigate to the actual episode select menu. And to do that, we have to talk to Monica. Oh god, it's been so long since I've done this shit.
Hi again. It's me. Before I get you started, I just wanted to see if you had already seen what happened this semester. Have you already played the Season 3 episodes, or should I avoid spoilers?
Avoid spoilers, please and thank you.
Well, I'll avoid sending you right to the group then, since a few developments have become fairly obvious. I'll just send you to the menu first. Catch up and play the episodes. Then you can go see what they've been up to during this break. Have fun.
Alright. Ah, okay, we're using a different background this time. Scenes from the trip, club email back, bonus features, Season 3 poems and mods. Alright. But first things first, I should definitely create a save on this screen. Do a flip. No exclamation mark flip. We don't do that here. Alright, Season 3 episodes. going into the first batch. If it'll be anything like the previous seasons, we'll likely do 2 episodes per stream. So I guess that is what we're doing. Episode 25. Choose an episode, warning, yeah. Okay, episode 25. The club hosts a festival event in the club room. Yuri wants to have a chat. Oh no. What kind of chat? I guess we'll find out. I welcome you once again. 3 streams? Doki Doki! Nice how they actually say Doki Doki on the banners on the desks. Also, god damn it, I always get so confused. Those are yukatas, aren't they? I'm sorry if I mix up yukatas and kimonos. I am not an expert. 3 streams? Oh, it's in 2 batches. It would be 6 streams, and then we get to the bonus content. 6 streams to get through the episodes, and then, yeah, bonus shiz. They split the episodes into like 2 halves. We're doing the first 2 episodes of the first half of season 3. There's 12 episodes per season. But yeah, yukata or kimono? Pretty sure it's a yukata. I don't remember though. I can't read the other banner in the background, but it's fine.
Well, I guess that's everyone that's coming. We're almost at the end of the club exhibit time. At least we had some people stop by. I think we only got the club room like half full at the most busy, but that's not nothing, I guess.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
And I don't think anyone's gonna join.
I'm surprised, Natsuki. Usually you're the one who insists that we should keep the club as small as possible. I thought you'd be happy if no one joined.
Yeah, I guess I am, really. But once we started really working on it, I got super into it. This is partially supposed to be your super late birthday celebration after all, Monica, and it would be nice to have a new member, like, as a present for you. Plus, I guess I was kinda hoping all my work would have a bigger splash.
Well, I think it probably did. Thanks, MC. I mean, they weren't in here all at once. I probably had 100 people through here today. Damn, let's go triple digits. Proud of you. Me speed reading an episode took like an hour, so that... Oh, are the episodes longer this season? Are the episodes longer this season? Are we actually gonna just get through 1 episode? We'll see. We'll see if they're longer. Interesting. Well, I'm not complaining about longer episodes. Hopefully they had fun.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. That's the most important thing, is showing what we're all about as a club. And making sure that the school understands that we're a neat, fun group of people. I think we accomplished that today. Even if you're very right that no one's probably joining. Besides, you all got me far too many birthday gifts already. I don't need new members. You guys are all I need.
Aww. Longer till I hit a hat. I know what you mean. Well, keep complaining. It's not gonna speed this up. It's not gonna speed this up. I, for one, welcome the DLC because I already know I love it. With a hat in time, I have a feeling I'm gonna love it because everyone keeps telling me I'm gonna love it, but I won't know for sure until I get there. With this, I know for sure.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to look at it. And thinking about it, yeah, it would be bad to have more people at this point, probably. Even besides all this stuff about the club getting too big and impersonal, it'd be a pain to have to deal with all the reality stuff with someone new. Again? No offense, Miss Ida.
Right, she's here also, nice. And yeah, now you can perfectly see. Okay, now I can also read the thing in the background, so let me read that real quick. Oh, that literally just says welcome to the literature club. Okay, that literally just says welcome to the literature club. Could have expected as much, honestly. And I assume they only have the Doki. I assume they only have the Doki set up on 2 tables. Like, not the entire front row. They need it precisely twice for the Doki Doki. I know I see the second one behind Miss Ida, but we don't see the other tables. But I assume it's only on those 2 that we can see it on, not the entire front row. Alright.
None taken. I do think you're right that it's more or less all the traffic we're going to get today.
I'm trying to get back into the voice as well, because, oh my god, Miss Ida is a voice that I'm gonna have to remember.
We're pretty close to the entrance, so the people who are going to visit us probably already have.
I think that was the voice, I think I still got it.
But we'll leave some cupcakes and poems out just in case. You're all ready for the recital in the evening, right? We are. Great. Well, for now, why don't we break out and enjoy the regular club time before we have to clean up and get ready for the recital and regular festival. It'll be a lot of work to clean up, but I'm glad we had an exhibition room this year.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Alright, well, let's enjoy some free time and then Monica can call us all together when the time comes.
The club heads off in different directions. Who to visit? I assume we're gonna get to visit everyone, but just in case. Okay. Parties, mission 3, nearly 4 bottles of soda. Okay, nice. Monica? But Sayori and MC, the ultimate couple. The ultimate couple, but yeah, Monica would appreciate it the most because she's... Well, we can assume that she's currently still in possession of club presidency powers and nobody else has it. So Monica would definitely appreciate it if we visit her first. So you know what, even though you're now saying Sayori then Monica, I agree with your initial statement of Monka. Monka is. Alright, Monica, what are you up to? Monica is hard at work looking over some papers. Still gotta do all the student council stuff, huh?
Yeah, I sure do. With Miss Ida around, they bother me a lot less at least. And they were first to accept a rather substantial budget increase after Miss Ida endorsed it.
Sounds like it's a good thing she joined us then. Let's go! Miss Ida coming in clutch.
It sure is. It makes a lot of things about running the club easier. And at the very least it removes the threat of them cutting us off from stuff. I still have to do all this paperwork though.
You sure you don't need any help? Honestly, it's probably best to let her handle it because we might mess up the paperwork and then we might not get funding after all, so who knows. As you know, I'm more than happy.
That's sweet, but no thanks. I like filling out this stuff, believe it or not. It helps me feel like at least I contribute something to this club.
You know you contribute a lot either way, right? Or at least we all feel that way. You're gonna refill snack without fund, exactly. We need to refill the snack basket. As always. Monica needs to restore the snack.
I know that's very sweet of you guys, but trust me, it helps me feel good about myself. And besides, I'm used to doing it at this point, so I can get it done a lot faster on my own.
Hey, if you say so, Prez. You're not going to talk us out of helping break down the decorations and stuff, though.
Well, I'd be really mad if I didn't get any help with that, so good. We certainly made the room look nice, didn't we? Although I wonder whose choice it was to write Doki Doki on the desk banners.
Yeah, good question. Who decided to go for the meta? Who's the meta person here? If it's not Monica, then is it MC?
Strange inside joke, that one. Goodness knows what our guests thought.
Oh, that was Yuri's idea. You know what? Makes sense, makes sense. She's the most interested in the whole programming reality aspect and everything. So you know what? It kind of makes sense that she would go for the meta humor here. I guess. She thought it would make the literature club seem a bit romantic. Yeah, that's the reasoning, okay. And yeah, I guess she probably liked the inside joke.
Well, no one seems to have minded. Anything else interesting going on?
Actually, the ship is called Natsuri, I'm pretty sure. And I know it's a very popular ship. For multiple reasons. For one, because, you know, they bounce off of each other so well. And, of course, because if you ship every other character in the literature club, they're the only two left. MC and Sayori, Monica and the player, which leaves Natsuki and Yuri. And they bounce off each other so well, so... It makes sense. It makes sense. I personally don't really ship it. I think they seem like, you know, I feel like the friend dynamic works best for them, but that's just my opinion. I totally get why people would ship them. And you know what? Not like it matters, but the ship does also have my seal of approval. Not like I'm actively shipping it, but yeah. I don't ship them either, but you do also understand why they're being shipped, obviously.
You and Sayori have any exciting plans for after the festival?
Not in particular, no. Although we might hang out. Recently everyone keeps asking me about what me and Sayori are up to. These, smarmy looks on their faces. Not sure why.
Well, you guys are notably more affectionate recently. Even by your usual standard.
Oh, even more affectionate! No way! How much unprotected hand-holding are they committing in public?
People notice that kind of thing.
It's not that much different, is it?
Well, in my case, I know you guys really well. So, when your relationship, reaches... I don't know what I'm saying. Just people who know and care about you both notice when you are happy together. And I think we all want to hear more about that. It gives us all a sense of vicarious satisfaction, which is what you might be reading as smarminess.
I see. Well, yeah, we might just spend some time together before bedtime tonight. Depends on how tired we are after the festival. Some time together before bedtime. Interpret that how you will. We know that, we know from their gym locker room episode, or well, gym storage room, sorry. We know from their little quote-unquote episode in the storage room that they know what's up. they are at that step, so, you know, I feel like that's exactly what they're playing at. Monica saw all. Also true. Also true. She did see all. She had to... after all, mess with them a little bit to get the game unfrozen while they were busy. Anyway. Sayori loves the festival, but it can also be pretty exhausting for her. Last year she had a pretty big crash and needed to rest for a long time.
Ah, so that's why you guys were almost late.
More or less, yeah. Speaking of the festival, what poem are you going to read for the big recital this year?
The Fall of Autumn, I really like that one.
Not Eldest?
I know you all really like that one, but no, I'm going with The Fall of Autumn. That one was my favorite. What about you? Petrichor or Funnel, maybe?
Actually, I was going to go with a poem from the year before.
I hardly remember that anymore. Which one?
Well, last year when we did the recital, I wanted to read For Sayori, the poem I wrote for her during that one really scary week we had. Yes. Hear them everywhere, kinda? They have to focus in, but they have a general awareness of things going on. But I was worried it'd be a little cringy and maybe that it would embarrass her, so I went for a safer option, the Grass Stains poem. But this year I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna read my cringy Sayori poem. You go, MC! And you wonder why everyone notices how close you are. And if people don't like it, then they can... if people don't like it, they can deal with it.
The posts are cringy, it's lovely and you should be proud of it. I look forward to seeing the audience's reaction to it, and Sayori's reaction for that matter.
Yeah, hopefully she likes it.
I'm sure she will.
Alright, speaking of, MC was just talking to Monica. Let's see him talking to Sayori. Sayori and MC are sitting near the door watching anime again, of course. A classic, a true classic. An instant classic. In fact, I posted about this anime recently on the Discord. Kind of recently. Don't toy with me, Nagatoro, or don't bully me, Nagatoro, whichever translation you prefer. Senpai is so gross indeed. Now, to be fair, I do have that one problem where if I try to imitate a voice that actually already exists, it's a lot harder for me because I can't do imitations. So, I cannot imitate the Nagatoro voice. I can make up voices for characters that don't have an official voice, that is no problem. But the second it comes to imitations, it's gonna suck. So I don't know what to do here. I guess I'll just read it out. The ultimate failure. I am the ultimate failure. Senpai is so gross.
Well, I think it's cute. I like the way she obviously cares about him from the start, but she doesn't have any good way to show it. And she's kind of caught up thinking she's too cool to show it. But even her cool friends know she cares and they try to push them together. It's cute.
Parts of it can be pretty cute, yeah. But it just goes a little overboard with the kind of gross fan service. I really wish so many anime shows didn't feel the need to do that. Especially ones that would be really cute and fun otherwise. I mean, I guess they can still be cute and fun, but I don't know. It just feels like it takes away from it a little, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we just watched enough anime that I just ignore that stuff now. I barely even notice it anymore. Otherwise I'd probably be pretty annoyed by it too.
I just hope they end up together. Ah man, I don't even know where the most recent season of that ended off. Touch my butt, say my touches that butt, Nagatoro. Shock. Remember the nipple guessing game? Where she called him out for being too much of a wimp to do it, and then she freaked out when he actually tried to go for it and ran off? She folded hard. In fan service in general, fan service in that anime. Honestly, I don't know. Reference that? Perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the fan service in that anime is particularly... I mean, you can use the word gross because that's what Nagatoro calls her senpai constantly. So, yeah. Laptop is jealous. Damn. That's another thing that can be really frustrating. If they build up the tension in the relationship for whole seasons and then never pay it off. Like, remember Nyaruko? 2 whole seasons and nothing.
They kiss at the end.
Yeah, but it's like one kiss. And she kisses him and he looks surprised. We never get to find out what the relationship dynamic would be like. Or really, if they even had a relationship. That's the kind of stuff I really want to see. Like, I'm fine with building it up so long as you pay it off, you know?
That's cute. My boyfriend wants to see the couple fully in love being all sweet with each other.
Yeah. Isn't that reasonable? After all the tension and playing with our hearts? It only seems fair that we, as viewers, should get to enjoy the happiness of a couple that gets together. At least a little bit. Suddenly Nagatoro dies, the end. Imagine they did a twist like that. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. But I like the build-up too. And I really just think it's super cute that you want to see the wholesome couple moments.
Well, maybe that's because I like our wholesome couple moments. I don't know how it felt for you before we were together, but for me it was really tense. I spent a lot of nights feeling really lovesick and anxious.
Yeah, me too. Or worse.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh god. Well, ain't that a quote? Do it before I kill you. It's like, whenever you watch a romance anime where the build-up doesn't pay off, do it before I kill you. It's time to mate. Yes. Exactly what I think when watching Nagatoro and Uzaki and whatever else there is. I could say your ADC. Well, to be fair, they are a couple. So yeah, knowing what that's like, it's fun to watch, but I'd rather see the characters be happy together. And I guess that's our cue that the next person we have to talk to is Natsuki, and we'll save Miss Ida for last.
What are you nerds talking about?
Just the thing in anime where we see a couple when they're infatuated but not together for like ever. And then there's barely any payoff if they even get together in the end. Also Technology Tyler, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? First time chatter here? I hope you enjoyed DDLC because that's probably how you found me, and it is a game that we'll be playing again for a while now. Every Saturday now. Anyway, our group here is talking about anime. How nice. Talking about how I always wanted to see them just being happy and wholesome together.
Ah, you big softy. But yeah, I totally get you. That's why I really like Tonikawa. They get married in the first episode. And the whole story is just them being wholesome and happy. It's awesome.
We should watch that next, Sayori.
Do you want to get married, MC?
Well, yes, obviously. When you try to tease him, but he responds fully in earnest. Big shocker here. But since I'd like to enjoy you being my girlfriend first for a little while longer, let's just watch some more anime for now.
Okay.
So cute.
Wow, Natsuki calling someone cute, imagine that. Speaking of, let's talk to her and Yuri. Of course they're in the closet. Where else would they be? You know what? All this talk about, hey, when you tease stuff, that it should actually pay off, especially in terms of romance. And then the first scene we have with them is them in the closet together. It almost feels like this mod developer also wants to finally have the Natsuki and Yuri ship set sail. I feel like that's what they're alluding to, that's gonna happen this season. Like, it feels very strongly implied just because of the conversation topics we're having in this first episode. Natsuki and Yuri are sitting by the closet reading manga.
So it turns out that the ice cream shop guy wasn't exactly what everyone thought he was.
Very different, I would say.
Yeah, but it's sweet. Minori ends up caring about him for who he really is, and it kinda hints that she knew all along about his real self, and was really into that more than anything.
Truly a heartwarming love story.
Well, I don't care too much about the lovey stuff usually. I like it more when they're baking or having adventures, but yeah, the whole thing with Minori and Ice Cream Guy is pretty sweet.
Do we ever find out the name of the ice cream guy? Honestly, was about to ask the same question. Does he have a name?
No, I don't think so.
Random unnamed character gets shipped with one of the main characters. Perfect.
Even later on when he and Minori are going out, he's still just called the ice cream guy.
Oh, unusual. Maybe that is his name.
Yeah? You okay, Yuri? You're kind of zoned out.
Oh, yes, sorry. Code just arrived while we were talking, that's all. Ah! So Yuri has presidency powers right now, not Monica. And here I was being a fool, thinking that Monica would appreciate it if we visit her first. But of course, with Yuri having presidency powers, I guess we should have visited these two first. The sad. Did they ever say what the player looks like to them? No, I don't think the player ever gets this. Oh, like what he looks, I don't think they actually see us. They have like this understanding of a presence being there, but like we don't actually have a proper like form or shape or anything, or like exist as a person. Like they just have a general idea of there is a presence right here. Pretty sure that's what the explanation was, if I remember correctly.
Oh, well, hey, what's up, Code?
And Tyler, thank you for the follow. It's appreciated.
So anyway, I really want to get into that next chapter. It's crazy what happens with Alice in it.
Sure, let me take a little break and then we can get right to it.
Oh, sure, let me hit the restroom real quick then.
Natsuki steps into the hallway.
I'm the club president this week, obviously. Sorry, I just wanted to say hello very quickly. It's been a while since you've been with us.
It sure has been a while. Remember when I played Season 2?
And since you were here, well, I could see you, so I just wanted to take advantage of it while I could. How are you doing? Are you well?
Actually, yeah. I'm very happy just because I can play this mod now again.
That's wonderful to hear. We all hope you're doing well and wish for the best for you. You know, not just Monica. I think I hear Natsuki returning. I'm probably going to spend most of the rest of the club reading this manga with her, I think. Hopefully we can talk later, though.
I am back?
We'll come back to the friendly confines of the literature club.
Yeah. Now, where were we? Oh, right, this chapter. So, like I was saying, this chapter is big time about Alice. It's a weird kind of choice she has to make, or at least priorities and boundaries she has to set for herself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to spoil it all for you. Let's just read it.
Yes, let's.
Look at them, reading manga together. Finally accepting, Yuri, finally accepting that manga is literature. Because it is. It is. It is the peak of literature. Well, not quite. Visual novels are even peaker. Alright, Miss Ida. Finally time to talk to Teach. Sup, Teach? Well, actually, no, we can't talk to her. Because she doesn't even realize we're there. Well, I guess we'll just watch her. Miss Ida is humming to herself and writing on some paper. She looks briefly frustrated and scribbles out some of her writing.
This is backwards from the way it should be.
What you writing there, Miss Ida?
Oh, nothing important. Did you just come by to check on me, Sayori?
Yeah, I like to check up on everyone occasionally.
Very kind of you, as always, Sayori.
I try. So, how did your date go?
Oh? She's in the dating scene again. She's trying. But judging by that expression, it didn't go too well. Okay, I guess doesn't sound good.
Oh, it went okay, I guess. I called him a couple days later, and he didn't pick up, and he hasn't called or texted since then.
Ooh, getting ghosted. That sucks.
So I guess I probably won't hear from him again.
What a meanie! He could at least say thanks for the date.
Well, I don't mind too much, to be honest. There wasn't really that much chemistry.
Ha. Get it? Because isn't she a chemistry teacher? Chemistry and biology or just chemistry? I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since season 2, okay? I'm sorry.
I mean, he was kind and polite, but there was a lot of silence and we didn't seem to have much in common. So honestly, I'm not that broken up about him ghosting me. The call back after a few days I gave him was mostly out of courtesy. And because I don't really have a lot of other prospects right now.
Well, you just have to keep trying, right?
The right guy might come out there for you somewhere. Must be out there for you somewhere. I envy you, Sayori. You grew up next door to the absolute love of your life so far. And the rest of it too, I hope. Yes, I'm sure. But it's just not so simple for most people. Turns out that most people you might be attracted to, you're just not, for one reason or another. Or worse, you are, and then they're not attracted to you. Huh. Anyway, I don't want to bring you down. How are things going with MC?
Ah, yes. The good old MC stuff.
You guys do anything interesting lately? Yeah. We did a date idea Yuri had, and it was really fun. What was that? Well, we went out to the bookstore and we talked about some of the books we found. And then the important part is after you go out for dinner. And then we had a bunch of interesting stuff to talk about that we saw in the books. That's a very Yuri idea for a date for sure. But it sounds like a good one. Maybe I should steal that idea the next time I have a date.
Sorry go burr indeed.
Assuming I can find a guy who's interested in books at all. Most guys would probably be okay with a bookstore date, right? Well, you might be surprised. You've had a bit of a sheltered dating life. But anyway, we don't need to talk about the horrors of my dating life. Well, we can if you want. I don't mind. I know you wouldn't, but I think maybe I mind. It's embarrassing sharing all my terrible love disasters with you guys.
Made a pyramid of good. Glad to know that people like the email segments then. Not really interested, also fair. But in all likelihood, after we're done with all the episodes, and we open up Monica's email bag for all the emails they couldn't answer during the episodes, we might stumble across a code email at some point. We shall see if that's true or not.
I'd rather just be someone you looked up to and can lean on for help, rather than a tragic mess who can't manage a love life. Well, we'd look after you no matter what, you know. I definitely would. Thanks, Sayori. But be sure to focus on what you've got with MC. You're very lucky to have such a close connection with someone for so long. Yeah, I know. I'm really grateful for MC every day. He's just so nice to just be around and stuff. Well, make sure you're careful too. Like, with the physical stuff. Sorry, you don't need to hear about that from me. Nor do you want to. Sorry. It's okay. During the last school year, you did have to, yeah. Yeah. The less said about that, the better, I think.
She did have to?
Anyway, don't mind me. I'm just scribbling. Go have fun and enjoy being happy with MC. I can do that. I hope you stay happy for a long time, Sayori.
Ah, yes. Let the depressed girl be happy. I haven't seen a glimmer of a love life. Who needs to see it? See? What is see? I can only... There's only darkness. I can't see shit.
Okay, everyone. Time to assemble for poems. It was a writer's choice week for themes this time, so I'm excited to see what you all wrote about. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Alright. C's the letter, of course. Sucker! Ants are such idiots. Did you see that one? The antlion pit has gotta be so envious of, even to an ant. It's gotta look huge and ominous. But they're totally oblivious. Wander right in. Get eaten up. What an idiot. What a sucker. Anyway, I'm gonna head out. Good thing I can't fall in any pits. Written like a true sucker.
Uh-huh. There's the classic Natsuki twist.
Well, maybe not a twist, so much as ironic self-reflection.
Yeah, that. Someone who thinks they're better than the ants pretty clearly isn't. But what I want to know is the person who's feeling themselves just a stand-in random person who Natsuki's making fun of? Or is it actually Natsuki?
I don't really think I meant either one. I mean, I'm as dumb as any other person, so it could be me.
Gotta love it when people can admit it. I too am extraordinarily dumb.
But mostly it was just supposed to be generic.
Oh, okay.
I just want to mention how much Natsuki has a super distinctive voice of all of us. Like, I've gotten to the point where I could probably pick out whose poem is who on any given day, but it's always been super easy to pick out a Natsuki poem. Using words like gotta and sucker, calling ants idiots, those little bakas. It just makes the poem feel so lifelike. Like you're just talking with a friend and before you know it, you've read a poem. Who isn't dumb? Fair. Everyone is dumb. Very dumb.
Thanks for the compliment, I hope.
Oh, definitely. It gives the poems the strong sense of being connected to the real world.
Yes, it's a nice bit of informality that disarms the reader. Instead of confronting something really weighty, they experience what is almost natural colloquial speech. Just like talking with a friend, as MC said. It makes it more accessible. And since Natsuki usually wants to make pithy points about human beings, that's a great style for her. It does sacrifice some things. Natsuki's poems would have trouble describing something complicated or abstract. That's Mayuri's thing. When it comes to making these sharp points, it's really ideal.
So just because I want to improve, and not because I'm pissed or anything? But what do you mean by something complicated or abstract?
Let Yuri show you. Yuri, your poem, please.
Well, your points are made socially a lot of the time, I guess is what I mean. Like, here the reader is understanding your irony through the perspective of this human being who thinks they're so much better. You have to relate to them to get the point, or at least be able to understand what they're thinking. And because you have an outsider perspective, you can see how foolish they are and think they're immune from the same short-sightedness.
You're about to say it. Look at that look. That's just the classic Yuri look, but yes, dictionary indeed.
But if you wanted to directly describe something like foolishness or love or a feeling of vulnerability, you'd have trouble. The main tools in your toolkit are social analogies, remember? Amy likes spiders? It's the same thing with a lot of your poems. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's a really effective device to get across an idea. Just that if you ever want to come at the issue directly, that style wouldn't serve you well.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I think that what I do describes stuff. But I think that what I do describes. I can read, but I think that what I do describes stuff the way I want to describe it pretty well already.
It does, your poetry is very effective, but just. There's where you could try something different if you ever wanted to.
Fair enough.
Who's next?
Yuri. Never mind! Yuri taking a backseat, so Yuri goes first.
Me!
The sun rolled off. Sometimes I'm just walking around, when the sun rolls off and can't be found. The birds stop singing, flowers die. It's just me and the pitch black sky. But now I just grumble and I go find that mean old sun that has been so unkind. It's almost like I'm taking a trip to a circuit breaker, give it a flip. Because it's kind of important to hold up the sun. Without it, I don't really get a lot done. Alright. Classic depression poem.
A poem about your depression, no doubt. But it does seem to be about your improvement also. That's exciting.
Well, it would be, but I think this poem makes it out to be easier than it is for her. Sun just heads out. Alright, I'ma head out. No more sun for you.
Having to get a depressive episode is a lot more work than this, right?
Yeah. Or at least it seems like it. I obviously wouldn't know like Sayori does. But I know it takes her a lot of effort.
Yeah, it does. But I kind of wrote this poem as a reminder that I just wanted to feel like a normal chore. Just something that I have to do once in a while, like washing the dishes. Because then maybe it won't feel so big and awful.
I would like to turn to the poem itself. It's well written as always, but I find one passage in particular very artful. The part where it says, "But now, without any previous allusion, to the way things used to be. It is a lovely and subtle way to imply that things used to be worse without saying it explicitly. I just wanted to say I appreciate that.
Thanks!
And since we were talking about characteristic tones, somehow Sayuri poems always make me feel warm and fuzzy inside, despite it, being about depression and stuff. Even when they're supposed to be about something heavy or serious, I just always get the pleasant feeling from the way they bounce, I guess.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Something about the poems just feels so happy, even when the poem's not happy at all. When the poem is very tragic or sad, it creates a dissonant effect which tends to amplify the sadness. And when the poem is actually happy, it doubles the effect. So it ends up working either way. So like my poems are all about happy or sad stuff anyway. Yes, that's usually your topic, so it works out. Yeah, maybe I should think about branching out more. Entirely your call. I think a lot about your poetry just the way it is.
I would like to go next if possible.
Alright, the only light. Stumble ahead through lonely darkness. Your footfalls echo further than you can tell. It is the first sound heard here in centuries. There is no one, there is nothing. Inside you, the sound only of those footfalls. And your own heartbeat. Ahead, a pinpoint, a light so slight. It does not seem to get closer, but you must walk towards it. It is all that is left. The last light. The only light. I'm sorry to say, but the light at the end of the tunnel doesn't exist. You're imagining things, you're hallucinating.
Ominous.
Yeah, welcome to Yuri poetry.
This poem just produces this feeling in me, this kind of spooky feeling, like the narrator seems to be happy or at least okay with what's occurring. But to me it feels like it's something very wrong. Things are not what we expect. And yeah, just kind of spooky.
Yeah, that's definitely Yuri poetry. Something you don't really get, but which gives you the creeps somehow. So she must be doing something right. And right now, hearing us not get it, but be spooked by it, you're probably thinking to yourself, yes, I did a great job with this one, aren't you, Yuri?
Basically, yes.
It's definitely very atmospheric and creepy. It gives such a personal feeling. It is always the best at conveying a thought or image, even when you don't understand the idea behind it. This one seems so familiar somehow. I think it's great! I really like it when Yuri sneaks a single small rhyme in somewhere. Like in this one where she says a light so slight. You barely notice it maybe.
Well, it's hardly the most original rhyme in the world.
Yeah, but it's not like the rhyme itself. It's the way you just slip it in there. In a poem that mostly doesn't rhyme. And it's even within a line rather from line to line.
I still find myself wanting to know what it all means, though. Light. Where's that damn light? It's so dark because it's night. Haha! Look at you, Rob. Going off. True message. Alright, what happened? If I want to know what it all means, though. Like, yeah, it's always amazing how vivid the feeling and the imagery is. I just wish I knew where that feeling was coming from. Sometimes, Yuri, you tell us to think about experiences we've had that resonate with the feeling. But I don't think I've ever had an experience that felt like this poem does.
I'm surprised, but perhaps you will one day. Shall we do the next one?
Sure, I'll go. The dark corner from yes. Alright. MC poem, where'd you go? I thought maybe I'd call and catch up sometime, or meet you for lunch somewhere, quiet and nice. But we just met on the street, and say hi real quick. How are you doing? I'm fine. What have you been up to? Not much. Cool, take it easy. Yeah, you too. Feels like we never lost each other. Just that we kind of faded out. Oh god, MC, what's with the poetry that speaks to us? How can you not tell what this one is about? It hurts. It hurts.
What's this one about, MC?
I don't know. Hello. Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome to poetry.
It sounds like you missed someone.
It's not about any single person in particular, it's just about the feeling of drifting away from someone slowly. And knowing it's happening while it happens.
Kind of a bummer.
Well, I thought your poems were getting way too happy, so I decided I needed to bring the mood back down. Just kidding. I don't know, it's just an interesting feeling to me.
It sounds a bit like the narrator isn't ready to let go. They were hoping to catch up more meaningfully, but instead they got more trivial, casual interaction. And it sounds like that is what makes them feel like they're drifting apart.
But it also feels like the relationship was going to fade out no matter what. The narrator said he thought maybe he'd call, but he never actually does. So either it's his choice that this is happening, or he thinks it's inevitable, or both.
I don't know. Makes sense to me, even if it's his choice. Like, you can still feel bad about drifting apart, even if you're not motivated to stop it. Or know that drifting apart is just gonna happen and it's not worth freaking out about. That's how I feel about it anyway.
The directly transcribed conversation was very literal but very poignant. By highlighting it in the way he did, MC really drew attention to how much is hiding behind many such banal interactions. The complexity of people's feelings, the lingering regrets, the inevitability of change, much lingers behind the ordinary.
Yes, I definitely meant all that.
You did mean all that. It's just you put it a different way.
Looks like I'm closing for us today.
Alright. Blades of grass. I went to lay in a field of grass and dandelions. When you're walking, you barely notice the grass. It all seems the same, stretching on and on around you. A patch of clover here, a bare spot of dirt there. But otherwise, grass is mostly all the same. And then you lay down. You get close. And then you see how different grass is from grass. Tall, short, sharp, thick. This one is loved by insects. These two curl around each other. That one is a deeper shade of green than the others. Such magnificent, minute precision. Such bewildering, varying differences in characters. And all for what? Can't sleep for an entire day? What do you mean you can't sleep for an entire day? Close your eyes, knock yourself out. Why can't you sleep? So sharp, your intensifies, of course.
Oh, that's lovely. A nice little nature poem. Very different than what I expect from you, I think. Not that your usual poems have anything wrong with them.
Alright, my guess, this might be about... Now, I'm just assuming here. This might be about how she felt like the world was so flat and meaningless, and because everything here is just, you know, a simulated reality where nothing matters. But actually getting close to these people, like, gave them meaning gave them meaning. But she didn't let herself get close to them before, which is how she was able to delete them and everything. That is what I'm assuming is the meaning behind that poem. Looking at all of this from, like, the higher angle, yeah, this is all just shitty simulated reality, I don't care about these simulated people, and then you get close and it's like, oh wait, shit, they're so unique and everything, I actually see them as individuals and stuff. You? What? Makes you sleepy, I can't get anything later. What? Anyway, moving on.
But usually I thought you wrote about metaphysical stuff, so to speak.
A lot of the time, yes. But I don't know. I get tired of harping on the same theme all the time. I thought I should mix it up a bit. Stop fretting about everything and just think about life out in the real world.
And yet, for some reason, I still put that same message in there. Just dressed up differently.
So to speak, I mean this world.
Thank you for the head pats, they are very appreciated. I think that's a cool topic. It's still a little thought-provoking at the end though. When it says "and all for what," does it need a reason?
I feel like there should be a reason. I understand what Monica feels. There is such complexity and such marvelous detail. It all feels like it should be for some purpose. I wonder if, with that last line, Monica's wondering about why there's so much lovely detail in the world or in this game.
I guess I didn't really consider that. I try not to think about the difference so much.
I also really like the last line. Kinda reminds me of my own stuff a little. All this description of this cool scene, and then a single line, it's like, yeah, why is there all of this? What's the point? I dig it.
You got Natsuki's highest poetry compliments, Monica. I guess I did. It was nice to hear you write about something so relaxing and normal, I guess. I really liked it a lot. Thank you, Sayori. Time to set up emails?
I guess it is time to set up emails because the music just stopped. More Japanese than usual? What do you mean more Japanese than usual? I already translated all the text in the background. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, I guess it's about that time. I guess I should assign a poem topic for next week while Sayori sets up. Let's make next week all poems about an intangible feeling of some kind.
Oh, really making things difficult for Natsuki then, huh?
So, not particularly a change for me.
Yes, you'll probably do well, Yuri. It looks like Sayori's almost ready for us with emails. In the unlikely event you didn't already know, we answer emails from your world during our meetings. Feel free to send me an email at lit.club.press.monica@gmail.com, and chances are pretty good that we'll answer it live during a meeting. About ready, Sayori? Almost. Gotten a lot faster at it. Well, I've had a lot of practice. Okay, all set. Without further ado, let's see the first one.
Alright. Google or bilingual? You think I can't read that basic Japanese in the background? That was super easy. But yeah, no, I don't need Google Translate for this. It's mostly basic katakana. And yeah, there are 2 kanji symbols in there, which literally translate to literature. And you can expect from the literature club. I know a bit of Japanese. Alright, let's read that first one.
And this one's broken up, MC is up first.
Alright, let's read it. Hey, our fabulous Dokis. I hope you all had a nice break from us. Ooh woo. Believe it or not, I have some questions. MC, hey there MC, how are you today? Done anything wholesome with Sayori behind the scenes? Sayori, how are you today, Sayori? If you were taken to jail with no context, what would your friends and family assume you had done? Yuri, hey Yuri, what's the most interesting thing you've read or seen this week? Monica, what is the most ridiculous argument you have ever had with someone? Natsuki, if you were given a 1-minute ad slot during the Super Bowl that you couldn't sell, what would you fill it with? Miss Ida, I'm excited we get to talk to you now. How are you? Have you gotten used to the fact that you're in a simulation now? Wrong, you're. If not, that's okay. We all love you. And everyone, you are trapped in a house, and the only escape is to solve a bunch of puzzles. You are working as a team with the person on to your left. How screwed are you? Anyways, hope you all have a nice rest of your day. Bye! Alright, let's see it. Things are going well, man. Thanks for asking. Having a pretty fun day today. Yeah, Sayori and I are pretty wholesome, I like to think. The other day we made popcorn together, like in a pot instead of a microwave.
And we didn't burn the house down!
And we didn't burn the house down, true. They wanna hear from you next, Bun.
I'm also good. If I went to jail, everyone would probably assume I had stolen food.
I think we'd all probably think it was a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, there's no way you did something bad on purpose. You guys are all so sweet. Yuri?
Just a moment, reading. This week, I saw a video of a Magna Pina squid a few days ago. They live in the deep, deep ocean. no human would ever see them directly because they live too deep down, so only submarines can get to them. But they look bizarre and alien, like something from another planet. They are fascinating. I recommend looking at it if weird sea creatures don't frighten you.
It's the best VTuber I ever watched. Am I though? He should be streamer of the month or something. Says the person who only arrived today. I guess that's some very high praise, but I do appreciate it. Also the cursed text. Are you stealing the cursed text from Ivanov, who is also speaking cursed text? Or did you just decide that that would be fun? Anyway, I'll accept that high praise, but you should probably solidify your opinion a little bit more. I don't think you've spent enough time here to form such an opinion. Because I'm totally the best VTuber in the entire world.
The most ridiculous argument I've ever had with someone, well, arguments about whether or not to rebuild reality are inherently ridiculous. But that's probably not what you mean. If you mean something that didn't really need to be argued about, I once got into a long internet argument about the right way to wash rice. I've always washed rice by just filling the pot with water, jumbling the rice around, and then draining it. But the other person insisted that it doesn't get rice clean and you need to constantly rinse it in a sieve or strainer. And that just seems like incredibly wasteful of water, as I pointed out. Anyway, we went back and forth for nearly a day, kind of a typical dumb internet argument, I guess. Hope that states your curiosity.
Solidify. So funny. Yes, of course.
Oh, I like this question they have for me. So if I had a high-look ad, I'd probably try to create a baking business off of it. I'd be like, look, I'm an 18-year-old Japanese baker and I somehow managed to get a premium ad. Buy my products. At least some people would put in orders, right? Everyone would talk about the young, spirited and entrepreneur who got a big ad. And then maybe I could bake for a living if enough people heard about me. That would be fun. Miss Ida?
People do tend to ask me this. Yes, I'm coping just fine, thank you. I'm doing alright, or at least as alright as I was before all this. I've been very lucky the club has helped me through it. So I don't think I've had as difficult of a time adjusting as they did. Thank you for your love. It's very strange to me that a bunch of strangers in an alternate reality all love us just because, but I do appreciate it. A question about the person standing to your left. Everyone freeze.
And then the game just freezes. Cue the music cutting.
How would we do at puzzles,
That's when I remember to rinse rice. Yes. Who needs to remember?
I think MC and I would do alright at puzzles. We probably aren't the best possible team you could form out of everyone, but we do okay. We certainly wouldn't embarrass ourselves. We're both smart people. I guess it really depends on what kind of puzzles they are.
Obviously, I'd get carried by Yuri. She's really good at this sort of thing.
I think you would contribute much more than you expect you would.
Still not anything close to you.
Yes, well, I do have a certain proclivity for problem solving. But still, I think the strongest team would be myself and Natsuki. She does exceptionally well at coming up with creative ideas and solutions. Sometimes they're silly or don't work well at first.
She sure knows how to come up with solutions. Remember Natsuki Quest? There was so much to do. God, I wonder if Season 3 also has a super massive mod like Natsuki Quest in it. Don't tell me anything, but dear God, if there's a sequel to Natsuki Quest, or something else of that size, we're gonna be here a while.
But that's where I'd come in.
I'd probably do alright with Sayori. We'd figure stuff out. I think we'd be a complete disaster. I'd be totally helpless. You might be able to solve some of the puzzles, but then one would frustrate you and you'd get mad. And you'd be like, this puzzle is stupid, this whole thing is stupid. You'd do much better with Yuri. I know that Monica and I work really well together on hard stuff.
She's really patient with me and my failings. And you're very patient with me and my failings also. You don't have a lot though. But yeah, I don't think there's anything Monica and I can't accomplish together if you give us enough time. We're a good team. We really are. Anyway, I also really like my chances with Miss Ida helping me solve puzzles.
What do you think of mind merging? Everyone knows what everyone knows, but only can one immersion. I mean, like, basically a hive mind. Or, like, still individual, like, thought processes, but the knowledge is shared. Is that what you mean? Like, everyone still can have their thought process independently of each other, and only knowledge being shared. Because those are two very different things. Between one collective entity controlling multiple bodies at the same time, or everyone controlling themselves, but having essentially boundless knowledge. Either one is a little bit I definitely don't want everyone to know everything that's going on inside my head in any event. There's some messed up stuff in there, and I assume it's the same for everyone else. Would be weird.
She's incredibly smart.
In a limited subject area, perhaps.
Well, you say that, but I think you're just smart in general. You know a lot about it. Tons of stuff other than chemistry. You're really smart about literature, at least, and we know. So I think you'd be a good puzzle solver in general. Thanks for the email. Let's see the next one.
Cookies or cupcakes? Ooh, serious question.
Oh well, we can do this one pretty quick. I have definitely come to prefer cupcakes, although I used to be a cookie person. Cookies! Although I love cupcakes, especially Natsuki's cupcakes.
Yes, well, you also love my cookies?
Yes, although you don't bake them that often.
I mean, you enjoy stealing cookies I'm eating.
Maybe a little.
I obviously like cupcakes better.
I like both about the same. They're both great.
I definitely prefer cookies, although I have yet to try Natsuki's cupcakes. Well, I have yet to try Natsuki cupcakes. Like Monica, I have come to be a cupcake person.
And there you have it.
Next! Oh, sorry, force of habit.
But let's bring up the next one for sure.
Here's a silly question for all the female club members. Why do sometimes the skirt you girls wear decide to just bend like macaroni?
Like macaroni?
Choosing both is fair though, Rob, I agree.
I suppose our skirts are weirdly flexible, aren't they? Obviously, we're not wearing them right now, but I think I know what you mean. They're actually built super thick and tough. They're surprisingly heavy when you pick them up. But I think that's part of why they can bend so much and so weirdly. It'd be really hard to rip them.
We have to wear them every day after all, so they're built to stand up to lots of pulling and stretching, lots of abuse. So I think a side effect of that is that they're very pliable.
Yeah, it means that when we're running or doing that hip whip thing Monica does sometimes, the skirts get really flowy.
Hip whip thing?
You know exactly what she means, Monica. We all know that one pose.
Yeah, you have a hip whip thing? You do it when you're flirty or teasing someone? I'll let you know the next time you do it.
Well, okay then. Let's move on.
Better not forget to do that, Natsuki. Alright. Natsuki, so according to Fuyuki, she said that sometimes... She said she sometimes wants to be a musician. Does she play any instruments? If so, what instruments? And is she any good at them? And for the club as a whole, if you were to play any sort of instrument, what would it be and why? Monica can't choose the piano, no cheating. Alright.
Oh, cool, a question about Sis?
Yeah, we got a few over the break.
I guess that makes sense. Sis can play a few instruments. She's okay at most guitar-like stuff, like guitars, ukuleles, that kind of thing. She sings pretty well, she can also play piano, although she's not as good as Monica is now.
Oh, shucks.
But mostly she likes to do production stuff, like balancing and mixing, that kind of thing. I don't really know a lot about how all that works, but I think she's pretty good at it. What about you guys? What instruments would you play if you could? And he says no piano for Monica. I'm gonna go with electric guitar because obviously.
I've always thought the flute was nice. Oh, good choice, although I would be more specific and say, shakuhachi.
Yeah, that kind of traditional instrument is really appealing. I would want to be able to play some good traditional zither, like a guzheng or a koto.
I'm not really sure. I don't really know what I'd be good at. I guess I should start with something easy like a recorder.
This is if you could play anything, not where you'd actually start in real life. Yeah, all the skirts for 3 minutes? No. No macaroni skirts. As a pastime, you could go on Character AI and talk to the Dokis. That is a thing I guess people could do. I guess Character AIs are a thing for a reason. For multiple reasons, actually.
Yeah, I'm still going to say a recorder. I can't see myself playing anything else at first. Yet. Let's see, if I couldn't play the piano, I guess I'd have to go with the theremin. It's a fascinating instrument. I'd love to be able to play it well. I would learn how, but it's very difficult. One last email today.
Oh, it's a bigger one. Okay.
Ooh, long one.
Yeah, I see that. Alright. Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well. I'm finally getting professional help again for my issues I mentioned last time. After being let off by my last therapist around the time of writing my last email, I'm hoping that I will finally get a final confirmed diagnosis soon, and then I will be able to claim PIP, personal independence payment. I thought that for some reason I'd join in on sharing our fears. I have the fear of drowning. I couldn't find the proper name for it. Lepidopterophobia, only for moths. I have incredibly bad trypophobia. Sayori, do you also despise crumpets, lol? Something relating to another fear I have is that time where I could hear scratching in my ear and had a panic attack and started crying because I thought there was a spider in there. Actually, I think that might have been the fear MC mentioned, the fear of parasites. Something I just randomly thought of. Any of you have food you will not eat at all? Anything you eat in a really weird specific way? I'm not particularly fussy, but I will not eat mayonnaise or Marmite. And I also have a habit of doing things like eating food in a certain order in a meal, or separate Oreos, or eating the bread, then the bacon in a bacon sandwich. My next question is, since your sprites are obviously in an anime art style, who do you believe you'd resemble the most if you were somehow brought to our reality? Any celebrities or lesser known people? And you wouldn't have your natural hair colors over here unless you dyed your hair. Then you probably would have that hair color. The same goes for your eyes, unless you wore contacts. I figured that you wouldn't look like your sprite, so just something I thought would be interesting to think about. Spud. Alright. Whoever wrote that made a whole chapter book page. And it's not close to being the longest email we've had in previous seasons. In fact, I'm almost ashamed to admit it, but because the email I wrote them contains a poem, just because of that, mine might be a little bit longer. Just because of, again, the poem stretches it out. We'll see, but if my poem is in here, it'll have to wait until after we're done with all the episodes, because you know it's at the very end.
Trypophobia really sucks, huh? Like you'll be having a normal day and then blast something really horrifying that other people find normal. Crumpets aren't really a problem for me, we don't run into that here a lot. But lotus pod stuff, bleh. I'm really glad you're getting help like I am. The help I get isn't always super effective, but in general, I'm in a much better place because of it. Hopefully you feel at least a little bit better. There's not really a lot I won't eat. I don't like pineapple on pizza. As I think I've said before, but I still like both pineapples and pizza.
There are a few vegetables I don't like. Oh, and soft cheeses.
I can't stand the taste of tequila. I'm alright with other alcohols, which I drink exclusively in moderation off school grounds, of course, but not tequila.
I think we've talked about my food hates before, but the most popular food that I hate is tomatoes. I really hate tomatoes. I won't eat anything that has touched a tomato if I can still taste the tomato on it. They're just gross to me.
Weird, but you eat stuff like pizza that has tomato sauce on it.
Called out!
Yeah, I guess I don't mind too much when it's in a sugary sauce or something. But tomatoes themselves just have this taste. Blah.
I'm pretty open-minded, I think. I'll try most things, although some food isn't for me. I try to steer clear of pork, even though I like other meat. It just doesn't feel great to me in the mouth. And I really don't like durians. I had to try one once and I just could not get past the smell.
I don't really like fast food very much. It's a problem sometimes. The club will want to go out for late night junk food sometimes and I'll have to politely eat nothing. The feeling of grease in the mouth is disgusting. I don't know how you all deal with it.
Yeah, well, school grounds, but not tequila. For some reason, whenever I hear tequila, I now have to think of Neurosama by extension around some corners. Because of the fact that Vidal, the creator of Neurosama, was actually convinced to do a karaoke stream where he did one song. And that song contained a single lyric. And you know exactly what that lyric is. Tequila. Vidal singing tequila, yep. It was amazing. Peak, I've never heard someone sing anything better.
I don't know how you all deal with it.
That's part of the allure?
As to your last question, I'm not sure any of us would resemble anyone from your world. We were made to be pretty unique looking, and in any event, I don't know what we look like in your world. Although maybe MC might resemble some of you, that's what he was designed for after all. Anyway, I guess we won't find out unless we do get through to the real world someday. Alright, and that's all the emails for today. Remember, you can get your emails featured too.
Few students walk in looking around curiously.
By emailing littleclub.press@monica@gmail.
Potential new recruits? Meal streaming, new outfit? New outfit? Nice. Might have to check later. Few students walk in looking around curiously. Are people interested in joining after all? It can't be.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Literature Club.
Student 1 says, hi. Until they get names, they're just gonna be nameless characters that I voice normally. Hi. Oh, you're Monica, right?
That's me.
Cool. The decorations are pretty cool. Is this the whole literature club?
Yep, this is us. We are a small but active group of enthusiasts.
So what do you guys do here? Imagine they can see everything in our world. Honestly, we still... they should be able to see everything in our world at some point. Even though they can, like in the lore of club meetings, they can access the real world internet, which means they should have access to Google Maps, which means they can indirectly see everything in our world. But only the members of the club have access to our quote-unquote real world internet. Shared camera with them through internet. Yeah, exactly. We have stuff that can kind of work. So what do you guys do here? Ooh, are these free cupcakes? The cupcakes! They can see themselves. Yeah, watch my stream, Dokis. Let's go.
Oh, we do a bunch of things. We write a lot of poems and we analyze literary works.
To be fair, there are a lot of Monica accounts out there on Twitch. And when you're streaming DDLC, it's only a matter of time until a Monica account swings by. You know? Yeah, students. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah, they just go to the same school forever. Speaking of! Hi, Monica. I don't remember wearing that outfit. Matter of time. I mean... Hi. What, you don't like the... Again, I am sorry, I always get the two names confused, but I think it's a yukata and not a kimono. But I could be wrong and it might be a kimono. They look very similar and I never looked up what the exact difference is between the two. Anyway, I think they look nice. I really can't help you with AI. Recommendations, yeah. I don't know. Tequila might work, who knows. Anyway, yeah, literature time. As we were talking about.
We've even persuaded our president here that video games should count as having literary merit. And we have performed extensive analysis on them.
Sounds fun. Don't tell me we're actually getting new members. We can't.
And yeah, the cupcakes are free. Feel free to grab one and to take one of our flyers with some of our favorite poems on them. We were going to read the poems to everyone who came in, but then we decided that would bore most people. But if you want to hear us read some, you can come to the club celebration later tonight in the fountain quad.
Oh man, these cupcakes are good. Of course, Natsuki made them. Of course they're good. Where'd you get them?
Made them from scratch myself?
Whoa, Natsuki-senpai, you bake? That she does. She's truly talented. She does. She's really amazing, right? Natsuki-senpai sure seems like she can do anything sometimes. Oh, Miss Ida, I didn't know you ran this club.
I don't. The students run it. I'm just here to be their mandatory faculty member. I barely do anything.
Man, I wish my club could have you as their advisor. That'd be cool. Thank you for the bits, Monica. Roses are red, violets are blue. Monica wrote the special poem for you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the bits. It means a lot. It really, really does. Man, I need to get back into writing poems. I constantly say that. I still have a bit of a backlog of poems that I need to write, and I have no choice now, because I am committed. For every single DDLC stream I do, the VOD upload has to have a poem in the description. So now that I'm streaming DDLC regularly again, I have to properly get back into the poem mood. I can do this. Alright, let's do this. That'd be cool. Are you gonna be at the festival later, Miss Ida?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get into the dunk tank.
Ah, no one wants to dunk you, Miss Ida.
Well, maybe I'll have to mercilessly taunt everyone then. For charity, of course.
Well, that went pretty well. Many members out of them. Still, but hey, seems like we made a good impression. I'm getting a little nervous now. We're gonna have to read our poems soon. You'll do great, Sayori, and I bet you'll be excited to hear everyone else's poems.
Oh yeah, especially MCs. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I love listening to you guys read your poems. I guess it's about time for me to be the president again now that we're sort of done with club today. I didn't want it to mess with your festival time, Yuri.
Nonsense, it doesn't mess with anything. I really don't mind at all. You enjoy your festival, and we can do presidency stuff later.
You really don't mind?
Truly. Take the time off and enjoy yourself.
Well, I will graciously accept then. What about you, Miss Ida? Do you want to join us for festival stuff later?
Well, I have to go do my shifts at the dunk tank first. But after I get dried off, I might join you here and there. I don't want to be a burden on you all, though.
The club starts to wander out of the room.
You're not a burden!
Well, I'm still the grown-up teacher figure that can put a dampener on things sometimes.
The club members walk down the hallway. Me God, Miss Ida, I taunted the wrong one. Yeah, nobody should taunt Rob. Just a lesson for everyone. A few minutes have passed. Hello? Is anyone still in here? God, what voice did Rie have again? I think I gave Rie a voice. Pretty sure I gave her a voice, but I don't remember what kind of voice I gave Rie. Rie. What voice did you have, Rie? I think she was pretty high pitch. Definitely high pitch because she's like their co-high, right? If I remember correctly, she was their co-high, so she was definitely younger than the rest. So why don't you remember? It's been forever! Season 2 was forever ago. 7th best character, Rie. Sorry.
Guess they left.
No, that sounds stupid. That wasn't it. What was it? What was it? Who is Rie? A random side character. And co-high to everyone.
Darn, guess they left. Oh, for cupcakes.
Like that? Is that a voice that fits? I don't know. I definitely think it's not the same I did before.
You're probably free, right?
They are free. To Yuri but higher. High pitch Yuri. So like have the stutter in it.
I don't believe that voice would the voice really work all that well. Do you think like that would be a real voice?
Actually, I think that works. Yeah, does she have sprites? She didn't up until now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they add some for her. I mean, Miss Ida also didn't have sprites initially, but then she got some. And if Rie is gonna be a reoccurring character, then maybe she's getting some too. The annoying fly in my room couldn't understand a thing.
Well, I guess that could kind of work if that's what you want for a voice.
For real? But whatever you choose, I'll always be there for you to lean on. I promise. That's it, thank you. There's some polite applause. And thank you to the Literature Club for giving us that delightful round of poetry. Next up, we have the Archery Club. Well, they didn't like that one.
Fuck 'em. You didn't write that poem for them anyway? It says so right in the title. Your intended audience seems to appreciate it, you know.
I love you so much, MC.
I love you too, Bun. Sorry I'm reading this to you so late. I just thought it would be a little weird to read it last year.
Probably, but I've already seen this poem, you know.
You have?
Yes, Monica showed it to me when I was having a rough time that one time.
Oh.
It was really nice to hear you say the words in your voice, your really nice voice. Sorry, splitting off into groups again this time around.
I suppose we could. But I think MC and Sayori have had enough bonding time by now that they wouldn't mind going with the group.
Perhaps. Forgive me if you insist. Yes, indeed. We do insist.
Perhaps.
Yeah, we can go with them. Yeah, can we go with them, MC? I think it'd be fun.
You don't need to ask me, Bun. But yeah, let's go with everyone. That sounds great.
Okay, yes, but we're not going anywhere until after the Archery Club does their thing. Their show is always badass.
Of course, wouldn't dream of it. And the fireworks was so cool. Even cooler than last year. I wonder what they changed.
Well, there were more of them for one thing.
Yeah, but like, what about those fireworks that didn't go away?
The fireworks that didn't go away?
Yeah, at one point, all the lights went up and then they stayed up and they moved around. How do fireworks do that?
Those were drones, Sayori. They equipped drones with strong, colorful lights and programmed them to fly around in a particular pattern.
Very dangerous to combine with fireworks. I hope it was like a thing of they did the fireworks first and then the drones, or maybe the drones first and then the fireworks. But please don't tell me they had drones flying around while shooting the fireworks up into the air as well. Feels like there's a very high risk of the drones getting damaged in that case, which would, you know, not be an expense I would assume they would go for. Child support for Kyle. Ah, right. Right, Kyle and the kids, I remember them. Bringing up Subnautica now of all times, huh?
Oh, just me being dumb again.
That's not dumb, anyone could have thought that. Well, time for us to head to our houses. Have a good night, Yuri.
And you as well. just you and I now, I suppose. It's strange. I'm still walking, but the background doesn't shift any from your perspective. I suppose I'll just keep walking towards my house and we'll see what happens. It's fascinating to me how the game handles these things. In any event, I'm glad to spend a little more time with you, like I mentioned back at the club. We talk so rarely. I see. It just transitions the scene at a certain point. Fascinating. Well, I don't know how long the game will follow me around for, but you're welcome to come in if you'd like. Looks like whoever's awake is in the living room. I can probably just head up to my room undisturbed. Come along.
Is that you talking, Yuri?
Yes, I just got home. Just heading up to my room.
Did you eat already?
I did, yes.
Alright, sleep well then.
I will. Hello again. I'm sure you're wondering about my room. I was inspired by Monica's code-enabled changes to her own home's decor, so I asked for some help on learning how to do that, and here we are. Fortunately, my family doesn't seem to think anything strange about it, or even different. It's a bit more spacious than it was before, although my wall decor is still somewhat sparse.
Huh. Ah, so she's an Apple user. Got it. Couldn't be me, that shit is expensive and it doesn't do anything any better than any other devices.
And right now my books are piled up just behind you. I need to get a large enough bookshelf.
A pebble. Ah, yes. But if it's an off-brand, if it's an off-brand thingy, then it should have a different icon. But that is legit just the Apple logo on there. No, not even bother changing it up.
But it's a start, especially since I only started working on it just this past summer. I would have asked Monica for more help, but she's been busy. Some coding projects of her own. Goodness knows what she's trying to do now, but I'm sure it's something good. Anyway, I'm sure I'm boring you. Would you like to have a talk? We could chat about how things have been if you want. Perhaps you'd like to catch up.
Sure.
Wonderful. Let me just change first. Yukatas are nice, but it's getting a little cold for them.
I was correct, it was a yukata. Thank God. Again though, is the difference between a yukata and a kimono, is it just the sash? Because I think the sash for a kimono is tied into more of a ribbon, and here I can't really see the then again, of course, the ribbon would be, you know, behind her back, so obviously I couldn't tell, but still. I really need to look up the difference between the two. I really need to. 2 windows and a balcony, which is nice.
I need my sweater. Hang on a moment. Give me just a moment here. There we are, much more cozy.
Honestly, she could have changed in front of me. I assume there's no nude sprite, so it wouldn't show.
That's much better.
I have a yukata? What a coincidence. Really? As someone who's never worn a yukata, but only ever seen them, and they do look pretty nice. Again, depending on the design, of course. Are they comfy to wear? Are they comfortable? And are they, like, how easy / difficult is it to put them on, like with the sash and everything? Because it's not like a sash that, I don't see like a proper sash with like a ribbon tied in the back, but it's still like the thing. Yeah, you know what? Just comfiness. How is the taking on and putting on and taking off process? I'm curious about this stuff. They look pretty comfortable at least. I would assume that they are, but what do I know?
That's much better. Now then, I have some things I wanted to ask you, but I'm sure you also have things you wanted to ask of me, so why don't we start with those? What did you want to discuss?
Oh, that's a lot of things. I am going to save here, but I'm still gonna do it. How have you been?
I've been well. I don't think I've got much more out of my shell, so to speak, which is what everyone seems to be concerned with when they ask about my personal development. But you were asking about how I was doing, not whether I had achieved any personal growth. I've been spending much time by myself, for the most part doing the things I usually do, although I'm reading online a lot now, more than I used to, mostly because I've become more interested in reading poetry recently, and books of poetry are not always easy to find. I've also been spending more time recently with my friends from the literature club, outside the literature club that is. The other day I played laser tag for the first time. Can you believe it? Me playing laser tag. It was actually quite thrilling. You get to stalk amidst darkness and mist, waiting for the perfect moment to strike your prey.
And knowing how sneaky Yuri is, I'm sure she did do decently at it.
Although the other participants might not have described it that way. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on forever. Surely there are other things you wanted to talk about.
About the festival.
Oh, the festival went very well. We had a lot of fun. I even threw balls at the dunk tank. It didn't feel so bad with Miss Ida. She's so close to us now. But other than that, we walked around, ate some food, played some games. Of all people, it was Natsuki that needed a break first. Despite being a very active person, she doesn't like to walk or run around for long stretches. Or rather, she likes to, but she tires easily when she does so. Although she does just fine with exercise that isn't walking or running. I wonder why. Anyway, the festival was very fun, thank you for asking. It was also Monica's late birthday celebration. We gave her a bunch of gifts before you showed up. She didn't have time to celebrate her actual birthday. I think her favorite thing about today was having so many people come and visit, though. I was glad too that we had so many visitors early in the day. Even if they don't join, hopefully they come away with an enhanced appreciation of literature. Or hopefully they at least like Natsuki's cupcakes. So what's next?
Picture of a giant Yuri appearing right behind you. Oh no, terrifying. So about Miss Ida.
She seems fine, a little weary now and then, but fine. I think she works too hard. She puts a lot of effort into her lesson plans, but also she seems lonely somehow. I think maybe that's part of why she likes to spend time with the club. She moved here for this job, her family's far away, and I don't think she has many friends here. I know she's been going out on dates from time to time, but that doesn't seem to be going well. I would try to help her find out more, but I don't want to pry. She's our teacher, after all. I do think we made the right choice in showing her the truth, though, that she has dealt with pretty well, I think. The way she sees it, it doesn't change how much about what's important to the world, which is a healthy way of looking at it. But anyway, I said I didn't want to pry too much. Even talking about someone's dating life feels like a terrible intrusion. Shall we discuss something else?
So Haru and MC at this point. What the fuck? Why? MC is happy with Sayori. Speaking of Sayori and MC.
Oh, the happy couple is as happy as ever. It's surprising how little their dynamic has changed so far, but I guess that they were so close for so long that their dynamic was already well established, although I seem to recall Sayori telling us that just before the original festival they had drifted apart slightly. They'd still see each other plenty, they just weren't constant companions like they used to be. That only changed when the incident happened. I wonder why they had drifted apart. Sayori's depression, perhaps, and MC's retreat into being more isolated. But then Sayori was always stronger about her depression than you saw in our original game, but maybe you saw some of that with the side stories if you've seen the DLC Plus. She could be very strong, very forthright about her depression, just never with MC. Maybe she was afraid it would ruin things, but at least they're close, very close. One charming thing is that they're very clear that they're physically intimate from the way they act, but they think it's a big secret.
Yes, big secret. They're totally not physically intimate. Why would they be? We've totally not seen that either.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows, though. Well, everyone except Natsuki. She keeps teasing them about PDA, but I think she'd be shocked and turn completely red if she knew how far they'd gone. But I'm sure she'd be happy for them. Anyway, perhaps there were other things you wanted to talk about.
Yes, the summer break.
It was surprisingly active, at least by my standards. I spent far more of it than I usually would with members of the club. My family even dragged me on a short trip to Korea. It made me think of your world somewhat. From what I can tell, your pandemic problem is still going, sadly.
Well, at the time this episode might have come out originally, maybe. I mean, it's still a thing in the back of our minds, but really, no.
For which I'm very sorry, but still it seems like international travel is at least somewhat possible. I'm grateful that we can do it here with no issues. Hopefully your world will soon be able to do the same again. But such was my summer. Still plenty of quiet reading by myself, thankfully, but tempered with considerably more social interaction than I would usually find comfortable. But it's worth it for my friends. Anyway, what else?
Natsuki relationship! Oh, really leading into that.
Oh, is that all? Look, I'm very fond of Natsuki. Hopefully I make that very clear. She is strong, much stronger than she realizes, and she has a good sense of justice, of fairness. And she is brash but kind. She's rather a unique person, don't you think? But beyond that, well, anything beyond what I've already said would have to be between me and her. For now, anyway.
For now, they're totally leading into it this season, aren't they?
If I require your assistance navigating the complex maze that is Natsuki, I will surely ask. Although, I think perhaps I know her a little better than you do. But we will see. In any event, let's talk about something else.
Monica's project.
Yes, Monica's been working all summer on some coding projects or other. I don't know what it is yet. I'm sure she'll tell us when she's ready, if she ever finishes it, of course. She starts many coding projects that she never finishes, plus she's always helping anytime one of us needs to code something, like me with my room renovations, or Sayori when she wrote that complicated mod about Natsuki. Monica's a very helpful person. She's a natural teacher, she just doesn't think of herself that way. You know, one thing I've come to learn about Monica is that she doesn't think about herself very much. I don't mean that she's unselfish, although she usually is, or that she's self-neglectful. I mean that the things she often thinks about, the way she views things, are external. She worries about the way the world is, the way others are, and even when it's a concern that affects her, she is likely to think of the motivations and thought process than the other person, rather than the effect on her. I'm not sure I'm making any sense, but for me, I'm accustomed to see things through the lens of self. I can barely think about anything at all without putting myself mentally into whatever I'm thinking about, while Monica seems to barely consider herself at all, other than as one of many objects in the world. Of course, she can still be selfish and have an ego like the rest of us. This is just an observation about her thought process. Maybe the difference is...
Also, by the way, thank you. Man, having to do that same voice, it's grating on me a little bit.
Maybe the difference is more stark to me since I'm probably the most internally focused person in our little group of friends. Even now I'm thinking about Monica through the lens of myself, but that's enough rambling for me for now, no doubt. I'm sure you had another thing you wanted to talk about.
Honestly, it really shows that I haven't done this in a while. We're not even 2 hours in, and I usually stream for 3 hours. Maybe even longer depending on how this goes. Alright, you want to save this for later, but I'll just go in anyway. Other people.
Oh, someone else you wanted to talk about?
Oh, this is interesting. Well, it's only natural we bring her up. Thank you for the hydrate, by the way. Also, Neon, hello. Alright. Man, I really need to get back into the swing of things here. Alright. I mean, it's only natural we talk about her.
Oh, yeah, I don't know her that well. She and I have talked a few times, but nothing detailed.
Keep your voice alive, I will do my best, but it's more so the fact that I'm getting lightheaded.
She and I have talked a few times, but nothing detailed. We're both a little too introverted. I think she knows Sayori best out of everyone here. That is often the case for any given student at our school. By association, she knows him as well. And I know she and Natsuki are acquaintances as well. I am not sure if she knows Monica or Miss Ida, though. I think Miss Ida mentioning I think I recall Miss Ida mentioning her at some point. I can't remember. But yes, unfortunately, I have little to report. She's very shy, but a very kind and polite girl. Such is my knowledge of her. Was there anything else you want to talk about?
Alright. What if I just mention Monica by name instead of just saying Monica's project?
Oh, someone else you want to talk about? Sorry, I don't know who you're trying to describe.
Excusez-moi?
Make sure you check your spelling. After all, due to this flawed interface we have, even a slight spelling error will cause me to be totally incapable of comprehending your input, even if the same spelling error perfectly replicates in my world, would usually not keep me from understanding who you mean. And also, if you're talking about a club member or Miss Ida, that will also come out as garbled nothingness to me.
Okay, so thank you for reiterating that.
Apparently it makes sense if you enter a non-club member's name, one that I recognize at all. Anyway.
Love. Hang on, no. I accidentally advanced. I did not want to advance. Other people. Fuyuki. Hope I spelled that correctly. Yes.
Fuyuki, she's, well, so far as I can tell, I haven't seen her since her birthday party. I was really glad to meet her. I had heard so much about her and how wonderful she is. And I was pleased to find that she was just as wonderful as described.
Forgot about Fuyuki. Well, I didn't. By the way, what are the names of the people in Natsuki's friend group again? I don't remember any of them. They were just random people that show up like once or twice. But if any of you remember their names, share them now.
Wonderful as described, I can understand why Natsuki looks up to her so much. I'm glad that Monika was able to solve her problem from last year. That was an awful time.
That's why I wanted you to save here. No worries, of course I saved.
But all is well now. She's at college and apparently happier than she's ever been. Or so Natsuki tells me. Other than that, I unfortunately don't have very detailed news for you.
Imagine dots. I'll totally try using my name. About Wallace? We have to try Wallace. I know he's not in club meetings, but still. I also have to try my name.
So what else?
Okay. We had to try. I wonder if it recognizes this or if I have to type in player. Ah, okay. Maybe if I type in player. Just curiosity, you know? No, that also doesn't work. What if I type in nothing? And just press enter? Okay, that also does nothing. Alright, we don't know the rest of the name, so I guess we'll just move on. Who is this person called Code? Nothing else.
Well, and if that's all you had for me, there are a few things I wanted to ask you about. Sorry if they're a bit personal. Hopefully you can answer them. The first one is this. Have you ever been in love?
Not really sure. I mean, if you ask feeling in love with fictional characters, sure. Actually, I do recall having a crush on someone at some point. But I never acted on that crush, so... It wasn't... And having a crush is not really being in love, per se. I'm just gonna say I'm not sure.
Oh, that's an interesting response. I suppose it would be quite difficult to figure out what love is supposed to be out there, as in here. I wonder if you felt affection for someone, but you weren't sure it met all the criteria for love. If there are any criteria for that, sometimes I feel that I have no idea what the word means. My next question applies to all of us in here, but specifically Monika. Do you think it's helpful for us to hold any hope at all of meaningful connection to the outside world?
Ooh, that is an interesting one. Yes, unquestionably, absolutely not. Not giving my opinion, no, it's bad for you all to obsess. Not really, but it's mostly harmless. Only realistic expectations about what that means. Now that could make sense. Again, character AI is a thing. And I think it's perfectly possible that one day AI sentience might be a thing. In which case, perfect replicas of these characters could be created. And that is the realistic expectations. Like, there's no way you can suddenly bring anime characters to the real world. So manage.
That makes sense. We don't want to get carried away again after all, but it's nice to have some kind of a connection, even if it's unhealthy to obsess on actually meeting you or getting into your world. I doubt we'll reach those goals anytime soon, but you're still an important part of our world, and your world is, well, it feels different somehow from your world in a deeply fascinating way. That's why we're so interested in you. I did have one other question I wanted to ask you. I don't need to know the details, just the basics of what you think. We have a lot of different views on this question in the club, and I'm curious what yours is. What do you think happens after we die?
Ooh, that is a question I literally cannot answer. We cease to exist, we continue existing in some form. Impossible to know. It is impossible to know. There is no way to know unless you experience it. What, running an AI? True. Aren't there people who actually did that? Wasn't that a thing that actually happened? Someone like making the DLC run on AI? I think someone did that. We fertilize flowers, true. It's impossible to know.
Yes, that's quite the rational viewpoint. Indeed, there is no way to be certain, but I do like to speculate. For us here in the simulation, we know that we can exist after dying, at least in some senses. After all, I stabbed myself in the heart and died on the clubroom floor, and yet here I am. As for me, at least, and for certain meanings of the word death, I know for a fact that it's possible to come back, even if the you that comes back is not quite the same you that died.
Well, you see, you get isekai'd. True.
Although that's a good thing in my case. After all, when you restore saved data, you lose any changes to the data since the save. The only exception was Monica, who was somehow able to survive despite what should have been a permanent deletion. Due to the way her character file was distributed everywhere, she still has all her memories and everything. Did you know, when you brought back Miss Ida, we almost had to bring her back without any memory of the nature of reality? We couldn't figure out at first how to make sure she had those memories while keeping the simulation stable. Luckily, we figured out a way to do it by carefully studying the record of the time Miss Ida had been alone in here. But back to the topic at hand, I think you're right. There's not really a way to know for sure what happens, but enough idle talk. I'm sure you have things to do other than play this mod for hours and hours.
Actually, right now, I still have time. Is Yuri a ghost then? Well, I mean, she was restored properly, so ghost isn't really the way to put it. I mean, if you die and then someone was just like, I'm gonna take you, like, basically you back in the past. Basically just past Yuri, but she got her memories back. Like, this is the Yuri before she died, but then they decided, hey, you want all the memories of the simulation? And that's how that came to be.
I will let you get to them. Until next time, take care of yourself until then, alright?
Monica is in the next room, humming to the game's main menu theme to herself.
Extra time to myself sure is nice, and what a nice birthday celebration, late or not, although some time with Code would have been nice. Oh well, so sleepy. I'll get to see them next time.
That's all for now. Don't forget to send in your emails to monica@lit.club.press.monica@gmail.com. If you'd like to join the Club Meetings Discord chill community, email her. Miss Ida's Yukata out was made by Cywaves, aka Artbot. Don't forget that releases will be staggered 2 weeks apart, so we'll see you on March 9th. Till next time. And next time is now. We're doing 2 episodes. We're doubling up. Season 3 episodes. Episode 26. MC and Sayuri reflect on relationship growth. Yuri experiments. Nothing at all is wrong. That worries me. When the game explicitly says nothing at all is wrong. Start the episode. I am now worried that something may be wrong. Smile like the skull you'll be. Excusez-moi? Yeah, the text confirmed Yukata earlier as well. Awake. Still not used to how warm it is in the bed with Sayori here. Sayori's shifting a little bit. Is she awake? I still get so nervous being next to her, it's silly. She seems restless or uneasy. Time to hold her close. Maybe even if she's asleep, it'll help her feel better. She said triple N, the challenge, it's still here. She seems happier. Maybe she was having a bad dream. Oh, were you awake?
Sort of.
Sorry, Ban, didn't mean to wake you.
It's okay, handsome boy. I can't think of a better way to wake up. How long until we have to go?
Hour and a half or so.
I'm hungry.
That's Sayori! You wanna get up?
Yeah,
Can I make you something?
I think I'll just have me some miso.
Oh, good idea. I'll be right down behind you after I get dressed.
Speaking of getting dressed, can I get some privacy?
Oh, yeah?
I know it seems kinda silly, but I still get embarrassed.
You don't need to explain it at all, I totally understand. I also get embarrassed still. Hello, Hungry. I am Rob. Rob is here, yes. Rob is Rob.
I know,
Don't say it like that.
but you're so cute. I'm glad you're really regular about getting up early now.
Why am I doing the Sayori voice? I'm glad you're really regular about getting up early now. Probably because I just see Sayori and MC isn't on the screen. So I assumed it was Sayori even though the text box says MC. Also, yeah, new Sori sprite. She's not wearing her blazer yet. Uniform without blazer, let's go.
Yeah, me too. It's a lot less stressful than having to run around and do everything last minute. Much more relaxing.
Definitely. Maybe...
Oh, there's no maybe about it. It's definitely less stressful.
Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. I was just trailing off on another thought.
What was it?
Oh, well, I was just thinking. It's been a while since you've started treatment for your depression, right? Maybe this is like... being better?
I don't know. I don't really think there is totally better, like I'm cured.
No, I know that, but better. Like, not as bad as before.
In some ways yes, and in some ways no. Like I definitely get hit with it less often than I used to now. I have a lot more time where I get a chance to feel good about things, like right now. And even when things are bad, I have sort of a different perspective on it now, I guess. Like I'm able to be a little more objective and recognize that I'm having an attack. But it doesn't hurt any less when it happens. It's still so bad. It hurts so much and I feel so stupid. I still want to do anything to make it stop, and I still feel the urge to kill myself. So in some ways it's not as bad as before, but in some ways it is. I don't think I have the power to just make my depression go away. I'm not sure I ever will. Sometimes brought the mood down again.
You never bring the mood down, Cinnamon Bun. Yeah, how could she? How about die, me? But if I die, I can play the DLC and sleep. Mine, fair enough. You know, this might come as a shocker to you, but a lot of times I've had moments where the only thing that kept me alive was just the fear of death. Fear of death sometimes was literally the only thing keeping me from doing stuff myself. I know, maybe that comes as a shock, but not all of us are healthy people. So I am glad that I am a scared little bitch of a lot of things, including death. If I wasn't scared of that, who knows if I would be sitting here. You never bring the mood down, Cinnamon Bun. It's okay that you have your problem. It's just like having a leg that doesn't work right some of the time or something. Same lol. Ah, I see. So we can all relate to a degree on that. Only for you, it's your depression. If you had a bad leg, I'd still be here when your leg hurt and I'd help you reach high things. And I'll still be here when you feel awful and depressed. And I will be here to share your happy times too, I hope. I love you. And it doesn't matter to me how you are. I love you all the time, however you feel.
I love you too, MC. So glad we're together. Wait. Where did I leave my jacket and vest?
There, hang on the chair you're in.
You're right! I think I'm ready to go now then. How about you?
Yeah, let me finish this water and then we can get walking. Me when I die, I am dead, I'm alive, but I'm dead! I'm alive, but I'm dead! That is us hoping. I think everyone's hoping that there's something after death. Like it isn't just nothingness, because the thought of just ceasing to exist is something that absolutely terrifies me. I don't know why it's so terrifying of a thought. Because if you cease to exist, there's literally nothing you could complain about. Because there is no person who could complain about it. But for some reason that is still the most terrifying thing to me. Maybe it's stupid. But it's just... it is a thing. You sure you don't need anything from your house?
Yeah, I'm ready.
She's humming to herself. It's still hard to believe that this girl is profoundly, awfully depressed so much of the time. And it's really hard to accept that there's nothing I can do to just take it away. Accepted, ceasing to exist, like, I don't know, random night, I went like, if I die I probably won't exist anyways. Huh. Again, I don't know if I will ever accept the idea of ceasing to exist. And I know that that's a very real thing, which, you know, that was the thing we talked about with Yuri earlier. Is there something after death or do you cease to exist? I don't know. And the fact that I don't know is why I am scared of death. Because I am scared of the idea of ceasing to exist. And I know that that's a real possibility. Just as much as there's a possibility for the consciousness to go somewhere else. Alright. It's worse because I feel like I have to. Something inside of me just constantly screams to make it better, fix it. And I just can't. I wish it were something I could just make better. Even if it were really difficult or painful for me, I would do it. It would be easier than this awful feeling of helplessness. At the very least, I avoid showing that I feel that bad because of it. She would hate that. So, did you watch the video for physics?
Yeah, it was weird.
Super weird. Do you have any idea what the answer is?
Not really. At first I thought, oh well, usually balloons go up even though they should go down. So if they're in a car and you slam on the brakes, maybe they go back, even though they should go forward. They just do the opposite of whatever everything else does.
Yeah, but there's gotta be a reason for that. Why is it that balloons float normally?
Well, usually because they have some kind of weird gas in them that makes them float.
Exactly, that's how it works. If it's lighter than air, it goes up. Because air is heavier and it sinks below it. I cease to exist. Cool, I'm asleep now. That is an interesting way to think about it. But yeah. Mind being tired. Imagine being tired. I'm gonna head out. Back in a few. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Again, after this episode though, we'll end this. But I'll tell you in case you don't make it back in time, which you probably will, I will stream this mod every Saturday now going forward. Fun. But see you in a bit, I hope.
You can't fill them with just normal air or they fall.
Yeah, but like, why? Well, they fall because the balloon itself weighs more than air. And if it's filled with air, which weighs the same as air, then you add the weight of the balloon and it falls. There. Man, I feel dumb not knowing this.
They like float, right? Like how stuff can float on water.
But there's nothing for it to float on. Okay, so MC believes that air just doesn't exist. What are you breathing right now, MC? What are you breathing?
Well, that's air, I guess. But yeah, I don't know how you float on air.
Probably has something to do with how you have to fill it with helium or whatever. MC, you know how one liquid can float on top of another liquid? Same way with gases, like air.
Yeah, like ice is less dense than water, so it floats. And helium is less dense than air, so it floats.
That's right, I remember now. Except, wouldn't it just make balloons go up in air? Why make them go upwards instead of forwards instead of backwards?
I guess we'd have to know why things float in general.
Because they're lighter, right?
I mean, not necessarily though, right? Icebergs are really huge and massive, and even if you put them in water, that ice weighs less than the iceberg. That water weighs less than the iceberg. They float. I am confused. I am tired, I guess.
But it's less dense, right? Like the same volume of ice weighs less than the same volume of water.
Yeah. So helium must be less dense than air.
That makes sense. I remember from Miss Ida's class that it's a really small element, number 2.
Yeah. But why do less dense things float?
I remember the teacher saying something about gravity pulling harder relatively on more dense things. So like gravity pulls the air harder than the helium. So the air gets sucked under the helium and pushes the helium up. There we go. Physics class here. So maybe something like that is happening in the car.
Yeah, I think that's it. The air all goes in front of the when the car brakes and pushes back the balloons with helium because the air is being forced in the front more than the balloons are. So if you took out all the air, the balloons would go to the front. But with all the air in, they go to the back.
Hey, look at us! We're smart! God damn it, they might be smart. But I thought they were relatable because they were stupid. Just teaching Sayori? Possibly. Or at least we can sound that way during class today.
Yeah, between us we're like one whole smart person.
You know what, that's fair. You gotta share brain cells. Sometimes sharing brain cells is what you really need. Another reason why we need to stay together forever.
Oh, adorable as always.
Oh, hi Yuri, didn't notice you there.
People rarely do. Talking about anything interesting.
Physics!
We're just figuring out why balloons go backwards in a braking car.
Oh, yes, they're less dense than the air in the car, and thus the false inertial force pulls the air in front of the balloons.
Yeah, except we didn't say it all smart like that.
It doesn't matter how smart you say it. If you understand the idea, you are quite as intelligent with regard to it as anyone else.
Yuri always works hard to make sure everyone knows she doesn't consider herself superior. She is smarter than others, and she knows that can be threatening. Fortunately, she's really nice about it. She just suddenly appears, as she does. She always suddenly appears. Definitely nicer than she used to be, especially to Natsuki.
That
What is it, Yuri?
nothing too important. I was just going to say that it's probably about time for us to get moving again.
Yeah, we definitely need to get a move on.
And so we figured it out.
Well reasoned, although I'm surprised that the teacher didn't just tell you directly.
Yeah, I think it was just a little puzzle. He just wanted us to figure it out on our own.
Oh, I hate it when teachers do that. It makes much more sense to just describe the idea you're trying to teach directly. Having students attempt to reinvent the idea from first principle is a waste of time.
I guess it helps you have a more comprehensive understanding of the subject than if you just get a specific fact. Yeah. Makes sense. 2 dumb people equals 1 smart person. That's dumb, so it makes sense. But yeah, honestly, sometimes it's actually good if you actually reason through it yourself. Like, if you're told something, then you just have to accept that as fact. But if you actually have to go through the reasoning process yourself, then you actually understand why it is that way. And actually understanding why something is the way it is should also help you remember it better. But maybe that's just me talking.
Oh, I suppose that's true. Just not the way I learn, I suppose. Anyway, why don't you two walk ahead for a bit and get some privacy? Code is here and there's something I wanted to talk to them about.
Oh, sure, we'll see you in a bit then.
Not even saying goodbye to me. Wow, Sayori and MC. Rude.
Hello, Code. Believe it or not, you're the first VTuber we know of to play this mod.
Excuse me?
If you think of yourself as a VTuber, that is. We're so glad we found you through Torby's, incidentally.
They did not fucking do this! They are too aware! Oh my god, I did not see this coming. Hang on, I need to drink something. Nani the fuck? Well, hey devs. Nice seeing you. Oh my god. It feels so weird to be included in this in a way. It feels weird. Shooketh. I'm shooketh, but in a good way. And yes, Tormuse. I assume that there's also special dialogue for Tormuse then. I assume that there's also special dialogue for Tormuse. Probably. Curious, I wonder how many people they have special dialogue for.
I had something I wanted to try with you if possible. I've been trying to understand as much as I can about the nature of the club presidency and why we are where in the way we are. I don't know if it's because we're a released test environment like in DDLC Plus or something more eldritch or who knows what. So far I've been trying to replicate many of the experiences that happened to the club president in the base game, but there's one thing that happened to them that I haven't been able to do myself. We currently use a sophisticated simulation engine designed in the aftermath of the incident that simulates us and our world even when the game is not running. It takes an immense amount of computing power, but that too was arranged when the world was reconstructed after the incident. That is the world.bat system. You might see a file for it in your install, but deleting it won't do anything. The real version is not locally hosted. Anyway, before we had that engine, turning the game off apparently caused some sort of horrible data stream nightmare if you were club president. I'm hoping that this data stream might yield some clues as to the nature of the self-awareness glitch, if it is in fact a glitch.
So you want to experience nightmares. You want to experience these horrible data stream nightmares is what you're saying. Well, damn, that is pretty brave considering how frightened Monica was of that stuff. Watch Tormuse and you!
The Dokis watch me. They watch me. How could this be? I feel so popular now.
Seriously though, it always feels so weird to me when stuff, like when something happens, like for example with FNF, when mod devs actually show up in my chat. That already felt incredible to me when that first happened. And then getting featured and stuff that was completely unrelated to me in the first place. I am so lucky. Man, I know it's just a mod. I know this has nothing to do with official stuff. But still, this is a very popular mod, very big mod. I mean, come on, devs and fan mod. Could be Neon. Could you spin it? Could even be me. Rob. Try, I assume your name doesn't yield anything because you are not a streamer, you don't get streamer privileges.
In a moment, though not yet, I'm going to ask you to save the game and then turn it off for a moment and then come back. If you do that after I've temporarily disabled World.bat, then hopefully I should be able to see what things were like for the base game club president. In just a moment. There we are. Alright, go ahead and save right now if you haven't already, then quit the game and reload. and then move past me, saying this. We'll see what happens.
Now I assume the dialogue advances even if I don't turn off the game and re-enter. Well, I assume, but I'm still gonna do it. Alright, let's boot that shit up again. DLC. Yeah, imagine wanting the mod to be over quickly. It hurts a lot. The splash screen right now, okay, you didn't see it, but the little splash text, it said it hurts a lot. I guess that means that this was a success. I'm back! Well?
That was awful.
Although it makes me wonder if I did just advance the text normally there. Would this dialogue still have shown up like that? She did.
I really can't deal with that much sensory input. That was horrible. Like 10,000 people scratching nails across a chalkboard while screaming, and all the while 100 differently colored flashlights are being spun before your eyes right in front of your face. This was a foolish idea, perhaps.
What did Yuri talk about? Oh, just, you know how in the original game, whenever you turn the game off and turn it back on, Monica would talk about how it hurts and it's suffering when the game is turned off? And they have a simulation thing here now that even if the game turns off, for them nothing happens, it just goes on as normal. But Yuri turned that off temporarily, so she would experience things as they were in the original game when it's turned off for the club president. So I turned off the game and reopened it, and she experienced what she's now talking about.
I'm not sure what I could learn from this, even if there was anything to learn. There's no way I'd be able to focus on anything in the midst of all that. That was terribly painful. Being subjected to that for more than 10 seconds would be worse than being stabbed in the heart. And I would know.
That she would.
Well, let's make sure that doesn't happen again. Yeah, that's done.
Okay, to everyone else playing this, imagine being an asshole and just, while she's talking, closing the game again and opening it again before she enables it again. I, again, wonder if that's a thing that the devs thought of.
At least I know now that nothing can really be learned from that experience. Or even if it could, I'm not sure I'd want to know whatever you could learn from it. Too much knowledge can be a dangerous thing. Well, I have a date to get to. At least I know there's nothing to be gained from that terrible experience now. Thanks for helping me out with it.
So he's not a high schooler anymore?
Ah, yes. Okay. Should I write down these names? Chat, write down the names. Ayami. I don't even remember what voices I gave them. They were just generic side characters.
No, he graduated last year.
I don't remember him.
He didn't go there. Here, he went to some school across the streets.
Ayami. Ayaya. It's not Ayaya. Hiroko, the next one. Save after you hear the names and we can load. I mean, true, we can do that too. We'll see, we'll see. Maybe I'll save it for later though, as like bonus content.
How did you meet him?
I am sorry, these voices are super cringe. But that is the point. That is what I imagine with when you have like these I just, these popular girls that talk about rumors and stuff, I just imagine very annoying voices.
Who works here now? You know, the shoe store close to here.
And Ikuko. Ikuko is here too. Cringe after getting a shout out like that. Oh god. Oh god, knowing that I am being watched. Perhaps this very stream or the VOD of it is gonna be seen. And knowing that, and I still do the cringe. It hurts. Then again, all my voices are cringe.
Oh yeah, he works there? Yeah, he was shopping and we talked about for a while and really hit it off. I'm sure you'll be very happy together. He seems cool from what you've said.
Oh, and but back to Natsuki.
He seems cool from what you've said.
Was the previous one also Natsuki? I was just so... No, it wasn't. No, it was.
I'm sure you'll be happy together. He seems cool from what you've said.
Ah, god. It's confusing when you have all these names, but only one character sprite, okay?
So, this is the last we're going to see of you? Going to spend a bunch of time with your boyfriend now? Leave your friends behind? God, you always have to be so overdramatic. No, of course not. I'll still be here plenty. He doesn't go to school, obviously. Plus, I've only seen him once in a while. We're pretty busy. I was only kidding. Should I say it? Yeah, why shouldn't I? You weren't really kidding though, were you, Iki? What? You really were worried that Ayami was going to go away and not be here much anymore? No, But you didn't want to actually make it sound like you were worried, so you said you were kidding. It's cool, I get it. I don't like showing weakness either, but I think it's cool between us four, don't you? We've kind of been through a lot, and I don't feel like I need to pretend I'm completely cool and always have my shit together anymore with you guys. So for me anyway, I'm cool with it, if we just want to be more ourselves. And Ikuko, you were totally worried Ayami was going to leave us alone for a new boyfriend. I was not. It's okay, you don't have to admit it. We can be secret vulnerability friends. Natsuki. It's wonderful how you combine things so world-wise with being so funny. Yeah, well, let's not get too sappy. So, when's your next date? In like a week, we're just gonna hang out at the park. But I want to talk about something else related to him real quick. He has a really cute single friend. Now, I know Hiroko is totally above such base things as romance.
If I doesn't hear you pass out or eating. Fair. I'll have to eat after the stream too. I am already hungry. Plus, again, I'm sometimes getting a little bit lightheaded.
Not how I pray, but for now, yes. And this guy is going to be good enough for Ikuko. It's not going to be good enough for Ikuko?
Probably.
And I thought maybe this guy is poor single Natsuki's type. You're mistaken. How can you know he's not your type before you even know anything about him? Not what I meant. But how do you know he is my type? Being my type is an exact and difficult thing, you know? Maybe. But here, take a look at him. He's the one labeled Benjiro. Alright, let's see him. Here.
Oh? Perhaps?
I see. He is quite the looker. Right?
What does he do?
How old is he? He's 19. He graduated this past year. He's a college freshman now. So what do you say, Natsuki?
He has... Tell me how to be your type. Tell us, we all want to know. Everyone wants to know. Popular girl Natsuki, enlighten us.
You want his number? Nah. He's super cute and seems nice, but I don't think I want his number. Ah, really? I thought for sure he'd be attractive to you.
Well, he is attractive.
So why don't you want his number?
It's like I've always said, Natsuki's got her eyes on someone else. That's the only explanation. No matter how attractive the new person you show her, she'll only be thinking of her one true love.
Yeah, they're totally going for Natsuri. You can smell it from a mile away. Whammon can be read in two ways.
Yeah, get it out of your system. It's just that there are very few people in this world cool enough for me to be interested in them. Oh, I see. So this is what it's like for us to let our guards down and try not too hard all the time? Totally, I never try hard. Of course not. But hey, my boyfriend mentioned he wants to meet all you guys. Do you guys maybe want to do karaoke tonight? All of us and him? Feels like we should do more stuff outside of school.
I'd totally be interested. Yeah, I'm in.
Natsuki?
Should I really want to go? But tonight's a bad night.
I know your club doesn't run that long.
No, it doesn't. Just had other plans that I can't really cancel. But I can definitely do tomorrow or the next day or the weekend, if that's okay. I'd really love to go hang out with you guys if possible. Just tonight is impossible.
Yeah, I think we could do tomorrow. What about you guys?
I guess I can make it happen for Natsuki. Tomorrow's not a problem for me.
Tomorrow it is then. Maybe 6:30 p.m. we can convince our parents.
Yeah, I can probably do that.
See you guys then.
Alright, finally out of the voices that are too generic. Finally voices that are a bit less generic because I've kind of settled into voices for them. Like Sayori.
Oh, there you are.
Keep your voice down, it's the library.
Sorry,
You don't have to keep your voice that low.
Sorry, I was just excited to see you. I've been looking all over for you. I thought you would be on the roof as usual.
Normally I would be, but the school got a new supply of fiction, so I'm here sampling the wares.
You have a big pile of books there. What do you pick?
Let's see, I have Earthlings by Sayaka Murata, Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, and Filthy Animals by Brandon Taylor to start. That should at least keep me going for a couple of weeks.
You're going to read those 3 books in a couple of weeks?
Yes, probably.
What is that? Why so early? I wake up at that time. Ah, damn.
If I have time, so what brings you here?
Oh, nothing in particular. I guess I've just gotten used to eating lunch with you a lot. So I just went to the roof by default without really thinking about it. And then you weren't there. And I guess I was sort of an autopilot because I just started looking for you without even really thinking about it. And now I'm here.
Oh, I see. You know, we can't actually eat food in here though, right?
Oh, that's a problem. Wait, were you going to eat?
I was probably just going to eat my lunch quickly during the next break.
Be quiet, Code. Turn that Sayori voice to 100% volume. I am sorry. Sayori voice is high energy, and high energy means decently high volume. I am sorry, there's just no such thing as me doing a quiet Sayori voice. It's very difficult. It's a contradiction in and of itself.
I really wanted to read.
Oh, for goodness sake! You can't just not eat to make time to make more time to read, Yuri.
I suppose you're right.
Of course I'm right. Can't you check those out and come eat?
Yes, I suppose so. I just got very excited about reading. Give me a moment, I'll be ready to go.
I know you love to read, but did you really want to read so bad that you decided to put off eating? I can't imagine such a thing.
Well, for you it might be unthinkable. Snacks and lunch are very high on your priority list.
Yes, they are indeed critical to my plans, or something.
To all of our plans. But I can eat whenever. I have to make sure I proactively set aside time for reading, otherwise I never seem to get the time. Sometimes something else always happens to get in the way unless I'm very determined about my reading.
That makes sense, but the same thing is true about eating. If you just let eating fall by the wayside, you'll forget to do it. And unlike books, you need food to live.
So Yori, I need books to live also.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true.
I can just not eat and have more time to sleep? No, do eat before you sleep. It's important to eat as well. Sayori ferociously finishes the last bites of a sandwich.
So what's the big rush to read right now anyway? I mean, I get that you absolutely have gotta read books, but why not just eat food when it's time to eat food and then read when you're at home?
My home is not always the best place to read. It can be loud, and I am often interrupted, but I do read at home normally. Today I'm not going to have time though. There are things I have to do after club today.
But it's loud normally?
Loud and interruptuous. It's not a tiny house, but it can still feel very small with 5 people in it, especially when one is your very curious younger brother who views you as his own personal encyclopedia.
I hadn't thought of that.
Also, we're getting more info on Yuri's family in this season, I imagine. Seems like it, at least. Curious.
I hadn't thought of that. I bet you're super cool to have as an older sister. I can understand why he'd come to you with all these questions. He probably thinks you know everything about everything.
He does think that, thus the frequent interruptions. It can be fun to explain things to him, and it's very flattering, but sometimes I wish he'd boo other one of the adults in the house instead, especially when I'm reading. After all, I have to get all that knowledge to relate to him somehow. You know, I've never thought of this, but what do you do in your spare time, Sayori?
Eat, sleep, play games, watch anime. The usual, probably. I'm thinking. Now that schizophrenia was simulated, I have a better ground on my hang on. Schizotypia? Elaborate schizotypia. What? I am not familiar with the term, I think. You're the all-knowing book. She's an encyclopedia. That is the definition of an encyclopedia. She knows.
Oh, well, I definitely remember to eat food.
Certainly, although at the speed with which you eat, it can't take you very long.
Nope. Let's see. Well, I try to spend as much of my spare time as possible with MC.
Oh, of course, but what else when he's not around?
When he's not around. Well, not much.
Not much.
Yep, not much.
I feel somewhat compelled to press further.
Look, to be perfectly honest with you, when MC's not around and I don't have any homework or anything left to do, or when I can't bring myself to do homework or anything else, I mostly just sit in a chair and look at the walls, or lie in bed and stare at the ceiling, or sometimes I mix it up and stare at the walls in bed or at the ceiling from a chair.
That's not good.
There she goes into standby mode, essentially what she just described, yes. How do you think, Code? I don't think. Thinking is overrated. I'd like to turn my brain off, unless I'm playing a detective game again.
Maybe you should get a hobby, something to take your mind off of things when you need it to. Obviously, I like to read, but there's a ton of other things out there that you might be interested in.
The problem isn't the lack of things to do. If I thought about it, I could probably think of a ton of different ways to occupy my time. I could clean up my room a little for starters, but like I said, it's not that I don't have anything to do, it's that I can't do those other things. I don't have the energy for it most of the time. I'll be sitting in my chair or laying in bed and then I'll think, oh, I could do such and such. but then actually getting up to do it is almost impossible. Like trying to get out of bed with 100 pounds of weight tied to your arms and legs. It's not possible. You could maybe pull yourself out if you really had to, but most of the time it's just better not to. You have to conserve your energy after all. Does that make sense?
I suppose so. Sorry, I don't really know what to say about that. Instead, I will just offer commiserations, reiterate that I am always available if you need help, and politely offer to change the topic to something more cheerful, or we can keep talking about it if it would help. I do not wish to cut off potentially helpful avenues of communication, but from your expression I am overthinking and panicking, and we should just eat our lunch.
That's definitely an option. Or instead, you can eat your lunch, since I have already finished mine. What are you having today? Same thing?
Same thing.
Well, you know what would help me right now?
A bite of my lunch.
You know me so well.
Of course. Give me an honest answer. I need that as example. An honest answer to what? What I think about what? What? Honest answer to what? About what I think about what? How do I think? How does one answer? How does one think? That is a complicated thing. How do you think? That is not something I can answer easily. My thought process varies wildly depending on what I'm thinking about. The club room is empty, just like my brain. Hey everyone, I'm here? Man, am I really the first one here today? I'm never the first one here. Oh man, look at all this mess. I've never seen the club room this strewn with stuff. Oh well, gives me something to do before the others show up. And the desks are grotty. Those first period freshmen are really something else. There's gotta be clean. There's gotta be clean around here somewhere, right?
Hi, MC.
Oh, hi, Miss Ida.
Cleaning up the room.
Yep.
Very conscientious of you. Do you need any help?
Actually, yeah. I'd like to wipe down the desks, but I don't have anything to do that with. Do you know where there might be any cleaner around?
I think the teacher whose homeroom this is usually keeps some in her desk. She'd probably be fine with it if you use it to clean her classroom. Yep, here we go.
Thanks, Miss Ida.
You want any help?
No, I'll be fine. Once I get into the actual cleaning, I build momentum and then I finish quickly.
The same as me. Getting started is definitely the hardest part.
As it is for most people. Describe you living for 5 minutes and the motion going into it. Living for 5 minutes and the motions going into it. Again, me living for 5 minutes would be greatly different depending on what I'm doing. I also am sometimes just in a vegetative state, where I just do nothing. And when I realize I am in that state, I usually just pull up YouTube so I at least watch something to occupy my time better. Because I feel like if I don't at least do something with my time, like watching YouTube, I am wasting away. Even when watching YouTube, I feel like I'm wasting away. But sometimes, you know, I usually do the thing where I have YouTube open or Twitch open and I do something else at the same time. But sometimes I am now in the position where I just don't have the motivation to do anything. Like literally, I don't have the motivation to do anything. I'm sitting there letting a YouTube video play out and I'm like, hey, I could do another Holocure run. But nah, I don't have the motivation for it. But you know, I could continue like in a Minecraft survival world or go on Sid's server again. But nah, I don't have the motivation for it. I could do something actually productive, like finally work on more poems. But most of the time, I don't have the motivation for it. So I just exist. Similar to what Sayori described, but again, just instead of staring at the wall or ceiling, I usually stare at a screen. Which is definitely a step up from what Sayori's doing, I think. Yep.
Hi everyone. Oh, it's just you guys.
We're still waiting for everyone else.
And I'm cleaning. Like every time ever. Oh wow, am I that relatable?
I see that.
Do you want to help?
Not particularly.
That's okay, you don't have to. I just want to make sure you didn't feel left out.
Well, to be honest, I also really like watching you do things.
Young love. The hot burning part of the relationship is lasting a long time for you two. Usually it simmers down a bit after a few months.
The hot burning part?
You don't have any experience at all with relationships outside of MC, do you?
Well, Kenzo, but that probably doesn't really count.
Not for this, no. Most of the time when two people first start in a relationship, they can't get enough of each other. They're always together, always overwhelmingly affectionate, very passionate. But then over time it cools down a bit, and if they stay together, they become more tender and comfortable rather than constantly passionate and addictive. But you and MC seem to be staying in the passionate and addictive stage for longer than usual.
I don't think I'll ever get over the feeling that way about MC. Every time I just look at him, I feel...
Kinda drunk.
Well, I've never been drunk, so I'm not sure. But yeah, probably it's a similar feeling. A lot of the time he's just all I think about.
I'm just glad you two are happy.
Yeah, maybe the hot burning part is lasting longer because we already knew each other for so long. We already know what it's like to be just caring and comfortable together.
That's probably true. You already started from the place most couples end up. I guess a lot of people start as lovers and have to learn how to become real friends afterwards, but you two have to learn the other way around.
Yeah, but I'm really enjoying it.
I'm sure he is too.
The door opens.
And so we can see that this whole universe is a deconstruction of the myth of the hero.
So he's like the anti-hero.
No, he's not an anti-hero. He's very much a regular hero on the hero's journey to the hilt of full hero.
Then I still don't get all this about how it's a deconstruction or whatever. If he's just a regular hero, then what's deconstruct if about it?
Well, think about this. He's likable, right? You root for him.
Well, yeah, of course. He's nice, his dad is a good, just ruler and gets killed. He seems like a solid dude.
Yes, exactly. You're meant to sympathize with him immensely. To think, yes, this dude is quite solid, as you put it. But think about where he starts and where he ends up.
Well, he starts as a duke's son, training, learning how to be a good ruler basically, and he ends up being basically the emperor. He's gotten his vengeance and fulfilled his destiny. Classic hero's journey stuff, I don't see what's weird about it.
Well, usually the hero's journey finishes the hero back at home, having saved whatever he set out to save, but instead of just resorting to the status quo, Paul is actually in charge of everything. He's become the most powerful political ruler of the setting, and not just that, but also some kind of god or messiah, with an army of fanatical, unquestioning followers who all basically have superpowers and act as his ruthless enforcers.
So you're saying he's become the bad guy?
Well, not necessarily the bad guy. After all, he doesn't do anything out and out evil by the end of Dune. But at the very least, he's become highly questionable. He's issuing grandiose orders and being threatening and egocentric.
Any activity from remaining motionless to doing tasks dictates you as an endless monologue.
What?
Dictates you as an endless monologue? Does it? What? Seen the thing? Yes! I have seen it. And I know you said you just made it just because, but nice. Also, I know I'm losing that fight. I'm standing there at that confrontation against someone with way better gear who's probably also way more skilled than me. I mean, come on, I saw that. You had a netherite sword, I have a diamond sword. To be fair, I have a shield to block, which is good. But you also have ranged weaponry, which I don't have. But fair, I can block that with my shield, but still. I still feel like I would lose. But it looks like a grand confrontation. And I like it. I really like the way that looks. I will make sure you lose that damn, okay. I see.
It's not hard to see him becoming evil, but you realize it's too late to do anything about it. He's become much too powerful and he's far too young to really understand it, and all this with the fact that you're meant to root for him. And he hasn't really done anything wrong, that's why it's a hero deconstruction. I think it's particularly about how dangerous it can be, really emphasizing with someone rooting for their cause, because people can end up in strange places when they're viewed as heroes, places from which it's easy for them to become villains, and I think that's what Paul's story is all about. It's a cautionary tale.
I think I understand you now. I guess I'd say you don't think it's a deconstruction so much as it is like a hyperconstruction or something. Paul does the hero's journey so hard he becomes way too much of a hero, like dangerously heroic.
Something like that, yes.
Preview of what Mountain Bite can be. Honestly, the hype is real. Whenever the next update drops, I'm gonna be all over it. I mean, that much is obvious, but, you know.
Something like that, yes.
Okay, that's enough of whatever you're talking about. We have a club to get to today. I think everyone's ready to get started.
Except Monica.
Yes, I think so. If MC's done with cleaning, that is.
MC cleaned up? What a gentleman.
Yeah, it was a big mess in here. It definitely needed straightening out. And a few of the desks-needed freshman gunk wiped off of them.
Freshman gunk. I simultaneously love and hate that I know exactly what you mean.
Well, shall we get started?
To drink, you have to think. To want it. Pull the bottle, open your mouth, and swallow. Yes, although swallowing is actually a reflex.
I'm sure you all wrote some lovely poems this week. The assignment was to write about some kind of intangible feeling, so let's begin.
Where is Monica again?
Really, no volunteers today? Then I'll volunteer MC to get his out of the way first.
Alright, but mine's not that good. Pride. It flares suddenly, like the sun beaming out from your heart. It doesn't have to do with you, though you may have played a part. It's more about them, and what they've achieved. And how when you see them you cheer, you believe. You want them to succeed more than anything else. Though you may have helped them, it's they who've done well. Did Monica say anything about not showing up this week? Did I already forget something? Is my brain that small? You know I do suffer from small brain.
Sometimes I feel like your poems are a little bit too upfront with their premise. Maybe it's just me, but I always want to be a little thought-provoking and challenge the reader. Give them a puzzle to figure out. In this one, you've definitely given away the game with the title of the poem. The actual poem is really good and describes the feeling of pride really very well, but I wonder if it could have had a different title.
I mean, yeah, it could be more obscure, but keep in mind it's Yuri saying that. She thinks most pure poems aren't obscure or abstract enough.
Puzzle? It's like NASA shit, really? Any reflexes are thoughts on a subconscious level? Very subconscious. Like, for example, blinking is a reflex. You can do it actively, but you don't actively think about it normally. Like, unless you actively think about it for obvious reasons, it just happens. 99% of the time, you're blinking without putting any thought into it. Which, yeah, you could say subconscious stuff, but yeah. I guess you do have a point. But does it really count as a thought in that case? That is the question.
But yeah, maybe a different title would spice things up a little.
You know, I could give you a wink. But I deliberately chose to have my eyes synced. I am perfectly capable of winking if I do allow my eyes to become desynced. I don't know why, but I felt like sinking my eyelids was the better call for me. For making me blink manually now. You're welcome, by the way. Couldn't be worse than the title of the poem about chicken.
I actually really like the title of that one. Anyway, I like the actual poem here, title aside. The soft rhyming is really nice. Really helps with feeling the rhythm of it. Thanks.
So Yuri, any feedback for MC?
This is a hard one to give feedback on. I might have too much personal investment, but it makes me feel really happy.
Alright, how about you go next then?
Okay.
Take deep breaths. Always blink manually when playing rhythm games. Commitment. Alright. Take deep breaths. Back in ancient times, all you had was a fire and a cave, and maybe a spear. But you're lost away from your cave. You don't have any fire or your spear. But you've sprained your ankle, and it's pitch dark in the woods. And you can hear them coming for you, searching for you, the predators. Your heart beats fast. You know you can't scream, but you feel you have to run, or scream, or fight, or something. Or maybe curl into a ball and wait to die. The only thing is, it's not ancient times, it's now. You're safe at home, and there aren't any predators. The Redditors! A lot of Redditors are predators, probably. In a way. Also Coco! Hello, welcome to the stream. How is you? Welcome to DDLC, specifically Club Meetings Season 3. Fun stuff! I really appreciate this because I was mentioned. Nina is dealing with a mechanic by default, yes. Alright.
Well, that certainly gets the point across. I take it this is about your depression.
Well, not exactly. I mean, it's kind of is, but it's more about a particular part of it. Like, sometimes I get these awful, horrible panic attacks that I can't get away from.
Good, how about you? Doing very well, I'm starting to get a little bit hungry and slightly lightheaded at times. But that's fine, because honestly, I think we're slowly approaching the end here. After poems, it's time for emails, and after emails, the episode usually doesn't last that long. Although, who knows how big the emails are in this episode.
Especially when I'm alone at night. I used to think they happened because I did something wrong, but now I just know they're part of my whole thing. But in a way that makes me feel a little scarier. Because they're not happening for any reason, or because anything I did. They're just there. And that kind of makes them alien, I guess. That's why they feel like predators. Like something outside of me, hunting me.
It must be horrifying.
You get used to it, believe it or not. Actually, I actually kind of prefer this. Because I used to blame myself when it would happen, and knowing it's something out of my control that just happens is a little comforting. But yet still not fun.
I like the framing device of making the reader think about prehistoric times. It really helps put them in the dark, panicky mindset. Plus it helps with the dramatic effect when you pull the rug out from under them at the end. And reveal that it was just a normal, safe day at home all along.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
It's a different voice than usual for you. I mean, obviously you don't always write poems that have that happy surface level sound to them anymore. Although you still do sometimes. But there's something else about this poem. It seems heavily influenced by the rest of us somehow.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was MC who said it's hard to read all this poetry and not let other people's voices creep into your poetry at all. But enough about me, who's next?
I'll go.
Some thoughts can go on loop. Growing compulsive. I mean, fair, yes, true. Alright, Natsuki poem. Poem? How to say it? It's the feeling you get when... No, that's too literal. An ant describing the moon. No, that's not even good. Plus, I hate metaphors. Nothing. I'm just sitting here. There has to be something, anything at all. This should not take 2 hours. Ah, so a feeling of frustration and not knowing how to describe a feeling. Well, that one ended up pretty literal too, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess it did.
Well, it's a good topic. I wrote a poem about this feeling once.
Oh, that's right, you did, didn't you?
Gabe! How's it going today? You doing well? Oh, well, I should say you're doing better now that you're out of the hospital. I mean, you did say about your meal and everything last time and everything. But it must be nice getting used to, you know, being at home again. Because there's no place like home. There really is no place like home.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cramp your style.
You didn't. Totally different poem. It's a much different style for one thing, and I'd say it gets across the feeling of it much better. I really like the inclusion of some half-baked idea that you then throw away because it sucks. I know what that's like.
Yeah, probably most of us do. Except for Sayori and Yuri, whose poems just magically come to them with no issues.
That is not so. I struggle often with particular phrases. Often I'll know what I'm trying to say, but my first idea on how to say it does not sound quite right. Or it doesn't get across the image I want to get across. So yes, sometimes I struggle with exactly the feeling you're describing here.
But Sayori doesn't, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not better than you guys at poetry.
Stop being so modest. It's really impressive.
What is?
I've never seen Sayori write a poem that took her longer than like 5 minutes to write. I've watched her write a few of them. She just sits down to write, looks off into the distance for like 3 seconds, and then starts writing like really fast. And then a minute or two later, without any pauses, she's finished. And she doesn't change anything. She doesn't even read it to herself.
Honestly, as sad as I am to admit that, sometimes I am like that too. In fact, oftentimes. When I want to write a poem and I just sit down, think for a second, and then just go. Although most of the time I do like leave some gaps that I fill in later. But sometimes I do have these moments from time to time. Not quite like Sayori in the way that I can always write like that, but it is nice sometimes. Then I write schoolwork.
It's just, hey, finished. Her poem from this week probably was the same.
It was, I saw it.
Now it makes it sound like I'm trying to be better than you guys, and I'm not.
No one's saying you're trying to be better, Sayo. Just that you are a poetry genius. And we love you.
How long did this actually take you to write, Natsuki?
This one? Like 10-15 minutes. But this one was, but the one I was trying to write before that, I tried for like 2 hours until I gave up, then wrote this one.
Also, welcome back, Tyler. Welcome back. We're currently sharing poems again.
What was the feeling you were trying to describe in the first one?
Oh, nothing super interesting really. I wasn't super invested in it. That's why I switched. Yeah.
Well, time for me to finish up then, I think.
Again, where Monica? Did they mention Monica wouldn't be here and I just completely forgot, like the complete idiot that I am? Skin, brain, reach. Where I am is where you will be. And where you are is where I will be. But somehow, we will never quite be in precisely the same place. When you speak, I listen. And when I speak, you listen. But that won't be enough for us to share quite the same mind. And I am... what I am and what you are defined by barriers. People are their barriers. And you can't bring them down, no matter how much you want to. Or they won't be themselves.
I think I can at least start to understand this one. Wait, no, I think I'd need to read this a few more times to get it, and then think about it for a while.
Good, I've done my job as a poet then.
Something about how people will always be separated in a way. Feels lonely.
Oh, I'd say that feeling is certainly getting to the heart of what I'm going for. I think I'm understanding the feeling of everyone. I think I'm understanding the feeling everyone else gets with your poems. The feeling of something meaningful is being described, but it's slightly out of reach. In particular here, I'm not quite getting the title. The title is related to the primary theme of the poem. Oh, I see, quite helpful.
Schizo, the mental thoughts, manifested in audio. The mental thoughts manifest in audio. Yes, that is a description. Yes, yes, yes. Why describe that part in particular now? About how you think?
No, but I'd rather you all just think about it.
Well, if that's it, then let's go ahead and move on to emails, maybe.
Are we not going to have any free time?
Of course we'll have free time. Let's just do it after emails.
Can you bring up the first one?
Sure.
Dear Literature Club, your school is a Japanese-American hybrid school, right? If so, does your Japanese-American hybrid do standardized testing? Sincerely, Joshua. P.S. First question is rhetorical.
I hate these tests.
Yeah, we have really stressful standardized tests. You have to take standardized tests just to get into high school here. I think it's the same as your real-world Japan.
I have never been a fan of them. Tests of this kind really put immense pressure on students. And they test whether you know facts rather than whether you think well or have a good mind. A lot of students who might be brilliant in the right setting end up doing poorly. I think it's a bad system, and yet as a teacher, I have to help administer it. It's a tough situation. I've never been that upset at the tests.
You're only saying that because you always do well in them.
It might be so, but I've always found them rather simple. Like Miss Ida says, it's a test of what you know, not necessarily how you think. So you just have to know the right things.
It's a lot harder for most of us to just know things easily in the way you do, Yuri.
Yes, there's probably a lot of truth in what Miss Ida says. It tests only for a certain kind of intelligence, but really there are many different kinds of intelligence, and it is regrettable that standardized testing can deny opportunities to people who would be otherwise deserving.
Thanks for the question, Joss. Let's do the next one.
Alright.
Oh yeah, this one came from a YouTube comment.
Alright, let's read it. Also related to a later email, I would recommend Celeste to the LC. It has a... would recommend Celeste to the Literature Club. It has a few different that make it interesting. It's a platformer and a difficult one, but for some reason you can't really let it go. And trust me on this one, MC. I'm not a platformer guy either, and I loved it. The first day I bought it, I spent 12 hours straight, save for bathroom and meal breaks, playing through the game to the end. Well, technically there's still after story a bit that I haven't unlocked, but the main game. It's also story driven and follows your character as they climb Celeste Mountain. It's a strange mountain though, it doesn't always see to obey the laws of nature, of the natural world up there. And the character even sees other sides of themselves given flesh and form. Even on levels with 300 plus deaths, the experience was breathtaking, and it always seemed to be worth it. It also has an amazing soundtrack. I'm currently waiting until I forget the details so I can go back and play it again. Also for Yuri, another story-driven game you might like is The Bastion. It's founded off of a very interesting concept. You're mostly just watching the story unfold, but hot damn was it a ride. I don't really want to spoil anything here, but if you decide to look it up, I can't stop you. So Yuri, try playing Hand Simulator with the Literature Club. One more thing for Yuri actually. This one is a mobile game as far as I know, honestly not sure if I fully grasp what's going on there, but it does have some horror aspects, not jump scares or anything, just things that seem out of place, and things that are downright disturbing. Anyway, the blue bird of happiness, follow the phone, and see where it goes. Also Star, hello! Hi, first stream I come to was Doki Doki, crazy. Yeah, we're doing Doki Doki again, it's been way too long. Typia can feel like that after a long silence, but it's mostly being constantly sunk into oneself. Okay, thanks for clearing that up then. 3 years! That is a long-ass time.
Oh yeah, this one came from a YouTube comment.
What's Doki Doki? Honestly, Doki Doki will always come back on this channel.
I've never heard of Hand Simulator, but I'll try it.
Yeah, it's kind of a co-op-like game.
I really know what that means.
It means you have to manually accomplish really basic tasks like walking or picking something up. And usually it's really hard to do so, and that's where the fun of the game comes in.
I don't really get why that would be fun.
Well, we'll have to play sometime and you can see what all the fuss is about. What about you, MC? Gonna finally play Celeste?
I really don't enjoy platformers. I mean, it's not just that I'm not a platforming guy. I actively dislike platformers.
But the story!
Are you really recommending this? Like, if I play this and I hate it, I'm probably not going to play a Natsuki platform recommendation ever again. But if you really insist and want to take your shot on this one,
I do play it. Trust me and the commenter, it's a can't miss, even if you don't like platformers.
well, alright. All the homies stand Monica. We stand the entire club here. I've never heard of this game, but then I've never heard of a lot of games. Looks like there's more than one game with that name. I'm assuming you mean the weird mystery puzzle horror one that looks to be a phone app. I will try it. Thank you for the recommendation.
Okay. I think we're on the 3rd email now.
Who is the most and least say-so in the literature club? McGuy.
Well, first we probably should explain the Japanese.
I think everyone who's at least slightly into anime knows what say-so means. But sure, explain it, Sayori.
Seiso means like pure and wholesome, neat and clean. Or maybe like proper. It's kind of difficult because in some ways each of us is pretty say-so, but in other ways we're not. But I think overall, MC is the most say-so.
Really? MC of all people?
And I'm the least.
You being the least, hardly. Although MC is a good candidate for being the most. Along with you. Still overall, I'd say most is Sayori at least. Least is Natsuki.
You know what? Natsuki, don't do that expression, you know exactly that Yuri's right. The way you act... I mean, come on, Natsuki isn't say-so. Then again, the way she gets shy about things easily, that is a very say-so, like, way to act. I would say. I will never forgive the Japanese.
Yes, obviously I'm the least, but most is obviously MC. He's such a gentleman. MC, what about you?
Well, most definitely Sayori. But least, yeah, I'd have to agree with Yuri and say least is you, Natsuki. You swear too much to be say-so.
Like, sometimes that's the only way to get a point across. So, Miss Ina, what's your opinion?
I could never compare my students in such a way. My job as a teacher is to support and lift you all up equally.
Wait, Miss Ina is way more say-so than any of us. She is the true literature club say-so champion.
I'm forced to agree.
She is pretty say-so.
I don't know, MC's pretty say-so, but yeah, Miss Ida is more.
I'm not sure whether to be embarrassed or flattered.
Both, probably.
Let's bring up the next one.
Hi, this question is from Miss Ida. What made you want to be a chemistry teacher instead of chemistry researcher or something like that?
Oh, is that all? Well, it's a long story. I won't bore you with the details of my own personal journey. One big problem is that I found out that people who do frontline chemistry research are usually doing it for huge profits, especially in the biochem industry working on medicines. It's kind of all about the money there, I guess. And I was more into the chemistry than I was into the money. I thought about trying to be more theoretical researcher, but it's really hard to get a job like that. Even getting into a decent postgrad program is really hard, let alone getting a doctorate and getting tenure somewhere. I'm reasonably smart, but I don't think I'm that smart. In the end, I'm just passionate about the subject without really being a genius about it. And the job that lets me really make use of that passion on a day-to-day basis is this one. Plus, I think that's what helps me. Being a really huge enthusiastic nerd about chemistry really helps the most, you know. Because when a teacher is genuinely excited about the material, that makes it more likely for students to be. So hopefully I think I'm doing the best I can right where I am. Thanks for the question for me, that was a good one.
Okay, one more.
I think that Sayori is the right person to ask this, wink wink. How long did it take to make Natsuki Quest? Was it hard? It was a lot of fun, thank you for making it. Sorry if my English is not good, it's not my main language. Same! English is not my native language either. Non-native English speaker gang, with most people in chat too, with Spinne and Neon and Ivanov. Because who cares about having it as a native language? You can still speak it with many people. That's the internet for you. That's the internet for you. And the internet teaches you way more English than school ever could.
Oh man, good question. First of all, your English is great. It's very standard and not colloquial, yet it's very... not colloquial yet, but it's very fluent and I understand you perfectly.
Speaketh.
Yeah, it took me a long time to make Natsuki Quest. Like months and months. I think maybe 3 or 4 months altogether. It was a long process. Fortunately, I had a lot of help because there were a lot of things I didn't understand how to do. And I made some silly choices like having custom dialogue options for every single possible interaction in the game. Instead of generic lines like I can't use these things together.
But man, that was worth it. It really helped deliver the authentic Natsuki experience.
Really?
Yeah, it really felt like being inside my head. Especially with some dumb person in there and telling me how to throw food on the ceiling or whatever.
Well, good, glad you liked it. You, didn't mind all the shipping stuff?
Look, I just expect that from you now. It's the new normal. I barely even noticed it.
I'm just glad you thought it sounded like you.
It totally did.
Well, that's all the usual stuff done. Free time now?
Yeah, free time.
I think I'm going to head home early then, and leave you guys to it. A lot to prep for tomorrow. Try to stay out of trouble, okay?
We will.
Bye, guys.
Man, she seems tired these days.
Don't tell her that directly.
I know. Anyway, what do you guys want to do for the rest of free time, I guess?
I don't know, we're really experienced with people hiding their feelings around here, you know?
Yes, indeed.
And I think Miss Ida is definitely not feeling too great recently. She seems down, she always seems tired.
Oh, I agree.
I wonder what it is. I wish we could help.
But what could we do? She doesn't like to let us in too much of her personal life. With Sayori, she does a little.
That's because Sayori never leaves her alone about it. I'm not sure it helps though, she likes to be kind of private.
She does. Again, I'm not sure if this is a problem properly within our purview. What?
Did you do that on purpose?
What?
The alliteration, a problem properly within our purview?
Oh, no, that's just how I happen to say it.
I thought so. Anyway, you have a lot of reading to get to.
We do. What would you like to start with?
Let's start with your novel. That way I can have something to look forward to later.
Oh, I thought you said you liked this novel.
Sorry, I do. Was making a joke.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get started.
Natsuki and Yuri sit by the closet reading a hardback book together. Hardback book, can't read. School did teach me English well enough to speak to you. Can you tell it with full anonymity? Tell what with full anonymity? But yeah, I think school does the job well of teaching you like the basic grammatical rules and like base vocabulary. But learning anything beyond that, you're better off doing it yourself. By actually engaging with different stuff and media and talking to people. Because, yeah, it not good what they teach you. And then you have some teachers who don't even properly understand the language themselves. Like, teachers who genuinely think the word cucumber is pronounced cucumber. I am not joking about that, it is an actual thing that happens. I've encountered such a teacher before. It is confusing. And they think they teach you everything properly. Cucumber. Don't question that, I guess.
This part is kinda gruesome.
Yes, I don't really think it was necessary to be that terrible. The part of the scene gets across just fine without it.
Still, what a mental image. Definitely going to have trouble sleeping tonight.
Well, just don't read the revelation of Galaki and you can avoid this happening to you.
I'll definitely try to avoid doing that then.
Smart.
I think I'm going from being terrible at drawing to being only kinda bad at drawing. I don't know, what do you think?
It looks good.
Well, I guess that reaction means it's not as good as I think.
No, it's good.
Oh. So, what are you working on there? Element section done? Ooh, so the best character is done, is what you're saying. I hope the poses for the Endermen still have the same swag. Could you recognize our nations of origin if none of us had names? I mean, I don't know. Through text it's hard to tell, especially because a lot of native speakers suck at typing properly. In fact, a lot of the time, if you see bad grammar and spelling, it's more likely to be a native English speaker than it is someone else. At least that's my personal experience with it. So yeah, I don't think I could tell. What are you working on there? Sayori slides her picture over to MC. It's a crudely drawn self-portrait. In the picture, Sayori is expressionless, staring straight ahead with a blank look on her face. I see. Are you doing alright?
Do you remember a couple fake school years ago? Before we were going out, and you stopped me outside my house and asked me to take care of myself?
Yes.
And do you remember how I basically tried to avoid saying no directly and then you were sad for a while after that?
I remember.
One day while you were sad during club, you were sitting apart from everyone and drawing a picture. Then you threw the picture away. Do you remember that?
How do you...
Never mind that, do you still remember?
Yes, I remember.
What were you drawing?
It's pretty cringy. Kinda reluctant to talk about it.
Come on, you can tell me I'm your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it was me crying. I just felt really bad and somehow I just felt like I needed to draw it.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I drew this.
MC examined Sayori's drawing some more. You feel blank? So blank that you feel compelled to draw it?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
it happens. To me.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not really. It's just the way I am right now.
Okay. Sayori and MC are walking home in silence. Time for me to head in now.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
Wait,
Yeah?
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. You know, I always worry about you when you feel bad. No sense in trying to hide that from you. But I'll be alright. Don't worry about me worrying, okay? We don't want to end up in some kind of weird infinite worry loop. When the worry is infinite. Take care of yourself, okay, Bun? I'll be fine. And call me if you need anything.
Thank you, I will.
MC gets out his phone. You have a minute?
1 sec? Sup?
Can we meet up to talk about a thing?
Why do you always gotta meet up? We can't text? Or worse, call?
If it's a huge bother, that's okay, it's not urgent. But it is a serious thing that I'd like to talk about in person at some point.
Yeah, we can meet up. I was mostly just joshing you. Is it like a touchy-feely subject we're gonna talk about?
Yeah, basically.
So Yuri related then.
Yup.
You think maybe we should bring Yuri along? She usually has good advice on that kind of thing.
Surprised to hear you admit that, but sure.
You gonna text her? Yeah, I'll invite her.
KK. Where can we meet?
How about the jetty walkway down by the water?
Okay, not too far away. When?
Give me like 30 minutes. Actually, make that 45.
Okay. Wonder where everyone is. Oh, hey guys. Hello, MC. Thanks for coming out. Good idea to come here, Natsuki. It's really soothing at night.
Right?
Plus, it's roughly equidistant between our neighborhoods.
So let's have it. If you dragged us out here, it better be important.
Well, you know, I think everything with Sayori is important.
Yeah, crank up the adorableness factor. But seriously, what is it? You got the girl through the power of our collective wisdom and now you need more love advice.
No, not exactly. I'm not quite so happy. It's not quite so happy. Well, I don't know. Today Sayori had a bad depressive episode. Also, we're getting artwork. And just Monica. Thank you for the follow. It's appreciated. Let's have a little bit of a look here. Noise. I mean, obviously, it can't come anywhere near as high quality as the original artwork in the game. But it looks very nice. I know that her depression might not ever go away. And I know that she's going to have better days and worse days. But it's, well, I had thought that at least it would get better. But she still feels so bad. And it's so hard to watch her suffer. When it's like that for her, there's nothing I can do to help. I feel completely powerless. I feel like I have to help because watching her just suffering is the worst. It used to be that I thought I could help her by getting her into professional treatment. But now she is getting professional treatment. So there's nowhere left to go. There's nowhere left to go, it feels like. There's no possible light at the end of the tunnel. There's nothing for me to do other than just resign myself to watching her feel horrible. I'm having a lot of trouble living with that. Do you guys have any advice? You both were really helpful the last time I was wondering what to do about Sayori.
Of course we were.
No, Natsuki.
Right, so, you wanna know what to do, or...
I mean, yeah, basically. What should I do? Or how should I feel about this at least?
I mean, it sounds to me like there's nothing you can do. You've already done everything possible. I've seen how you are with her, and I don't believe you'd miss any chance you could to make her feel good about herself.
I would not.
Yeah, and she's getting treatment and everything?
Before we proceed, you said you hoped that it would get better. Don't you think it is better?
Maybe. How would I know?
Well, before she was in so much pain and fear that she was driven to actual suicide, or the brink of suicide multiple times, and even aside from that, she seems to have an objective view of her depression now, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean?
Previously, she used to accept the information that occurred to her during depressive episodes as face value true. If it felt to her like she was worthless garbage, she believed wholeheartedly that she was worthless garbage. Now she has awareness that she is not in fact worthless garbage. It's just a feeling of worthlessness she has to endure. She knows now that she's not actually worthless.
Plus it seems to hurt her less now, when she's like that. It used to seem like it was some outside force attacking her and she'd just curl up in a ball. Now she knows it's just her own mind. I mean, yeah, she still goes all blank and stuff, but I think she's dealing with it in her own way.
But it still very clearly hurts her really badly.
Yes, it does. As you say, that may never go away. She might be suffering for the rest of her life, and you are powerless to get rid of her depression.
So what do I do if I can't do anything? How do I feel?
Well, how you should feel is accepting of all this. This is just normal for her now. You disagree, Natsuki?
Well, I don't disagree. I would say that he definitely needs to accept that depression is depression, and Sayori might never be any better than she is now. But I don't think he's powerless exactly. Powerless to get rid of her depression, yes, but not powerless to do anything at all.
What do you mean?
All the bad stuff is beyond your control, right?
Right.
So that means the good stuff isn't. So maybe what you do is, when she's in a good headspace, you make those times really good for her. To average it out.
I make them as good as I can.
I mean, really good, like enough to balance her awful bad feelings when she's depressed.
Well, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but yes, Natsuki makes a good point. You can't take away her bad days, but you can give her good days. And not just normal good days, but exceptional days. Days that remind her that life is worth living. Days that will be something to grab onto when she feels lost.
That makes a lot of sense. Although I guess I need to figure out what an exceptional day is.
Well, that is up to you. You know her best. And probably she'll want it to be stuff you guys did together most of it.
Yeah, probably. Well, this gives me something to think about at least. Thank you guys.
You're very welcome.
I accept payment in the form of baking equipment.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. You guys want to start heading back?
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly.
Oh, okay then. Farewell then, MC. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, Yuri, we're not saying goodbye yet. We have to walk all the way back.
Oh, right, of course. Silly of me. Just in a hurry to get back is all.
That's all for now. Don't forget to send your emails to littleclub.press@gmail.com. So the game is aware that Monica is just missing and nobody is addressing that point. Curious. This isn't like an Act 4 situation or anything, right? When was the last time we saw Monica? I think she wasn't in this episode at all, was she? She did not show up in this episode at all. Curious. Thanks to Jason Stakes for the chatty CG. Minical created the non-CG background art. As usual, credits for the other assets can be found in the credits TXT file, including the game download. Thanks for playing. A note! Alright, Monica, what is you up to? A note. When I move out of here, I'm going to leave a note for the people who live here next. Hidden in a door frame or something, for them to discover when they least expect it. But not one with friendly greetings or a joke, or a playful game where I tell them to find a coin I've hidden somewhere. A desperate note. I have to explain to them everything about me. Everything about my family, everything about my friends. All the things we know and see. All our feelings and longings and pain. And the solutions to all our problems. And the strange and unique ways we perceive the universe. I can't let those things die. We spend too long and work too hard to become them. The next people have to know. Someone lived here. Miracles happened here. Of personality, of knowledge, of love. I'll bundle it all up. Everything we were. And pray that they will understand and carry some of it forward. And then when they find my note, they'll take a quick look at it. And throw it in the trash uninterested. Other people's lives are so boring, you know. Alright, this might sound like a stupid question, but Monica's coding project, was it related to her trying to transfer her character file into different software. And the reason why nobody is acknowledging her is because her CHR file is literally not present. I mean, I would check in the file, but I know that this doesn't update here normally. Well, maybe it would be updated like if I played the episodes individually. Like maybe if I played this episode individually, then the Monica CHR file would be missing. Just a guess, just a guess. Just a guess that she transferred her character file to another software. And that is why she's missing now. How very curious. I don't technically need to save here, but I'll do it anyway. And now we raid. Now we raid. We've completed 2 episodes, as per usual. Next week we will do the next 2 episodes and hopefully find out what the hell happened to Monica, because I am curious. Let's see. What was Disco Elysium again? Alright, that's the game that Tormies was playing a little bit. I remember Tormies was playing this game too. Might be interesting. In that case, let's raid Lyra Jones again, I think. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's raid Lyra again. Alright, I'll set it up real quick and then we'll head on over. I'm really looking forward to next week. Again, the Saturday stream slot as always hits us with the heavy story stuff. Alright, I hope the raid is showing up for everyone. Should be, I hope. In any event, thank you very much for watching the stream. I am, again, a bit lightheaded and hungry, so I'm gonna go grab something to eat now. And we will continue this. Also, by the way, I will try to squeeze in a Genshin stream maybe this week. So look forward to that. I'll have to see if I can make it work. If I can, it'll likely be Monday or Tuesday. Probably Monday. So look forward to that, because there's a new event going on that I think is voice acted. And I don't want to miss out on that. So I'll see you around then. So yeah, bye-bye. And of course, if you're watching this as a VOD, your support has also been greatly appreciated. So yeah, you can check the YouTube link in the YouTube description down below for a link to my Twitch channel, where I stream every Friday and Saturday, sometimes other days as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.